Technical difficulties.
Not really. Not really. Just Riverside, learning Riverside and learning this thing. So we're gonna do something a little different tonight.
Yeah. What's going on? I got the bat signal. You told me to turn my computer on, and here I am. Here I am.
Yeah, well, Janine's out of town. That's the rub, right? Janine's out of town.
Oh, I
I'm
see.
bored out of my mind.
I see what's going on.
And you were available
Yeah.
and Cale was not. So Ralph was not.
Hey,
So
I am Cale.
I know Ralph was not. All right, let's see how I get my chat up here.
Uh, um. Oh, right here. Okay.
Is there a chat on Riverside?
Yeah, down at the bottom. Bottom isn't the bottom right. You hit chat, or you're the host, so it might be at the top.
Okay. Just want to
If
be
you know
able
what
to.
I mean.
Yeah, it's not. I can't see it.
Yeah, I can see Trash Can Ninja in there. Pinball Stu. Sterling.
Oh, there
What's
it is,
happening?
dude.
Ozzy in the house. Hello. Hello.
Okay, so there it is. Studio chat. Give us a second, ladies and gentlemen.
We're new to this.
Oh, there it is. Pinball Studio. What's up? Hello, gents. Ozzy.
Oh,
Cool.
yeah, you see it now?
I got it. Cool. I just can't see any super chats. I'm not asking for super chats. I just can't see it on Riverside.
Right. That's the like the humble brag.
Yeah,
You know, I'm gonna mention super chats, but I don't want any super chats. Hey,
yeah.
Ozzy's in the house. Ozzy sent me a video earlier. Is Yuri Simoes is that your coach? It's pretty cool if that's the deal. That's some BJJ stuff, Jamie.
I got you. I
figured. Going.
I figured it was.
George Gomez in the house.
The real George Gomez?
Yeah, the one of them.
Okay.
I've known George for a while.
Okay, good. It's not it's the George Gomez that hangs out with Don from Don's Pinball Podcast, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've met him. Nice dude. Yeah, I met him at TPF.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah. So round table. Here's what we're gonna do. We got 2/3 of the round table tonight. Ralph's hanging out with the wife, and that is much more important than what we're doing. We're gonna go over some news. We're gonna do it live here, and then later on, if you stick around, I'm gonna give you the link, and you can join and ask us questions live on the air. I tried to do a call-in show, Cale, but I couldn't figure it out within the hour that you said that you were available. So I was close. That's what I've been doing the last hour, thinking if I could get like a 1-800 number or 1-900, not 900, but.
Well, you can do that with the what is it called? The Roadcaster, right?
Yeah, I just couldn't figure it out in an hour.
But don't you like literally hook up a phone to it?
Yeah, you'd have to hook up my phone to it. But then I'd have to have my number through there.
We have to figure that out.
Wouldn't that be fun? A call-in show?
Yeah. Azavet, that's your employee? How crazy is that? What's the deal? I guess you own a gym or something like that?
Yeah, he owns a UFC gym.
This is phenomenal. Yuri's just a world champion. He's constantly in ADCC, which is, considered to be like a world champion of no-gi grappling. It's actually I saw him at the last one. That's fascinating. Sorry to derail your fun, Jamie.
It's okay. Hey, listen, if somebody comes in and starts talking Celtic with me, we're going to talk Celtic soccer. So, Arsenal, you're.
Okay.
How crazy is that, ladies and gentlemen? He's going to explain what's going on at Yucca Tap Room. Go ahead, sir.
We checked so they all meet up there like 5 a.m. or something crazy.
Yeah. Because it's UK time over, and that's when the matches start.
When Rachel and I woke up and we checked the cameras at the bar, it was just wall to wall. It was absolutely packed. So you know more about this than I do. Apparently, Arsenal has done historically well.
Yeah, they won the title today.
Yeah, it's a huge deal.
It's a huge deal. Today was the title trophy presentation for the EPL, which is the English Premier League, which is the biggest league in the world. And Arsenal haven't won in a long time. And my buddy, I have a few buddies that are Arsenal supporters, and they love it.
Fantastic. Good. Cheers to Arsenal
There you go.
and
Yeah, they beat
all
Man
the
City.
Arsenal fans in the chat.
Can we start off making fun of someone a little?
Whoever's running the Stern website.
Yeah, that's where I was gonna go. You want to go there real quick?
We have to.
We only have 17 in here so far. Tell your friends.
Okay.
We're gonna make fun of this. Can you? I can share my screen. Let me pull this up. Okay. Give me a second, ladies and gentlemen. We just decided to do this, and I'm not Serge. Serge is the man. Okay.
Oh my God.
But this photo right here. Okay.
This is
All right.
worth it, people. Just hold
It's
up.
worth it. It's so ridiculous. Share screen. Window. Here it is. Share. Okay.
Okay.
This is the Stern.
Do you want to do it? Do you have the other one too?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so the other one, yeah. Don't show any nudie photos.
Oh, here it is. These are just videos of Jamie.
Okay, so I was at home. What's up, Buck? What was that, Buck LTM? So just like an hour or two ago, I got a message from somebody, and it was a screen grab, and it's like, what's going on over at Stern? You know, as far as with them posting photos to their website or app or wherever they do it, because I mean, we all know now that somebody accidentally posted the Transformers photos to the IC app.
Right.
So I get a screen grab, and I'm like, is this real? Now, this is my screen grab, what we're looking at here.
Yeah,
so
you sent this to me.
They had a cropped version, and I was like, is that real? He's like, yeah, it just popped up on my feed. So I went to Facebook, and I'll be damned, Stern's running an ad. So what
is that?
Okay, so
please explain it to me.
I reached out to a buddy at Stern that deals on the software side and jokingly said, is this how you guys are trying to get clicks now? And and LOL, that's not my department. So he didn't know any details about what's going on here or why this is happening. It appears to me that they're creating these weird AI images with women in it to use as placeholders on the website. I mean,
okay.
When you actually go to the product page, it's the same thing, which is you have that image too.
Yeah, the product page.
Like, what's going on? What did they do it? What?
I don't understand this.
In all seriousness, there's a staffing issue. There's a lot of people leaving, and they're not like hiring people to take their place. Yeah, there's a lot of weird stuff going on, but let's hope they can keep going for at least another couple of years, because they have some banger games on the way.
Yeah, you and our friend Canada released the information on Star Trek.
Oh, I haven't seen that yet. What's the deal?
Oh, you didn't see it?
No.
Canada released it on his Saturday morning spectacular yesterday. I had to watch it, rewatch it. It was honestly his best one he's ever done. Okay.
He tore up the.
Oh my God, he made me laughing.
What did he do? He tore up the NDA, the official NDA from Jersey Jack.
Jersey Jack.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. He had some fun. It was fun to watch him, right? But he did say that Stern is the next Keith Elwin game after Fallout is the original Star Wars and Star Trek.
That's phenomenal, and they are really. I think the choices they are making on games is A+.
Oh yeah.
Like, why not do Star Trek? I mean, it's like it has always worked in pinball.
Yeah.
Always. There,
They
there.
could do so much. They could do it like Batman 66. I mean, not the layout, right? But the way it was incorporated so perfectly with all those episodes and all that. They can totally do that with Paramount. Don't you think?
Yeah, Ozzy. That I know. He's talking about the crayon NDA.
Oh yeah, the crayon NDA.
Ozzy, are you getting OG Star Trek? Are you getting an LE? Do we need another Star Trek? Jamie, what's your take?
Do
That's
we
from,
need
from Trash
eight
Can Ninja
pinball?
87.
Do we need 8 pinball manufacturers? I mean,
Can
that's
I
the real
hold on? Let me
question, right?
see. Hey, look, if you hover over a chat, can
Yeah.
you? There should be a button that pops up where you can put it on the screen. Yeah, I like that. Don't you like that?
Love it. Thank you.
So,
We're
so
doing
if
this together, dude.
if somebody watches the VOD, they can follow along. Do we need another Star Trek? Go, Jamie? What's your opinion?
Well, look, I was gonna say we got 9 to 10 pinball manufacturers out there
Hmm.
spitting out pinball machines, and Stern
Somebody's
seems
gonna do one.
someone's gonna do a Star Trek, and it's a good license. I'd play the shit out of it, right? Why wouldn't you play that?
Yeah.
It's not Starfleet Academy. He's right. You can't have that. No, it's got to be the original
No.
OG Star Trek or
Yes,
Wrath of Khan. How about Wrath of Khan?
dude. I was that thing, whatever that little bug was that was in the fish
Yeah,
tank.
fucked
That
me up,
terrified
dude.
me, dude. I couldn't sleep that night
Yeah, fucked me up.
because I was like, because that came out around like 83, 84. I
Yeah, I'm
believe.
like 10 years old, and I think a
Yeah.
fucking bug is going to come
I
in
thought
my ear.
something was gonna go in my ear, and
Yeah.
I lived in
Yeah.
New Orleans at the time. I mean, there's roaches everywhere, dude. Roaches and mosquitoes. Um, the Star Trek. Do we need another one? Man, you know what? We don't need any of these things. Tell you the truth.
True, the truth. Yeah.
But I'm actually excited about this IP. Hold on, I got to turn my monitor down. I'm a little loud for myself.
Okay.
There we go. All right, check. We're doing it. I think it's a great IP,
Yeah.
especially for pinball because it's always worked. For some reason, Star Trek has always covered the pinball demographic, no matter what generation it was. And I think it'll be dope. You know?
Yeah. And Ellen.
Oh yeah. I mean, come on, it's Elwin. You give him anything, but
Yeah.
yeah, this is a very cool IP. You know, especially since it's like the OG. Come on, with the. I mean, this is where it all started. You know, this is original sci-fi when it was popular. You know, on television. I think it's gonna be great.
All right. What's going on with chat? We need a Batman 89 Stern from Pinball Studio from, I don't know.
Which one
Batman
is that? Jack
Batman's Jack Nicholson.
and Mr. Mom,
Yeah.
Michael Keaton.
Michael
That's a
Keaton.
good one. I had that on VHS. That is a
Yeah.
good one.
Who didn't? That was good. That was good.
That would be nice. Well, yeah, Richie's.
So
You're right.
Richie Star Trek is
Richie
amazing.
Star Trek is amazing. That's a great game. That's one game we don't have at the bat that I always wish we did.
Really?
Yeah, Mark Pearson operated one at the bat. It was a great tournament game. It's just a fun game. And it was a pro, which the pro's great. Both versions are great with that game. He had some kind of opto issue he couldn't ever figure out, so he just took it home. He does that with games. He's got so many games. If one breaks, he just swaps them out.
Yeah. That's nice. It's a nice
Yeah.
problem for you to have as his operator, you know?
Yeah, he's a great guy.
So let's talk Transformers. You getting one for the bat?
Yes, I'm in on the pro.
Okay.
I'm
Eureka
not
Heights is in on the pro and the premium. They're going to do the pro premium.
Oh,
So they'll get the pro first,
hmm
and then when the pro comes in, they'll move the pro to one of their other locations, Eighth Wonder or
very cool.
yeah. So they're at 3 locations now, John and Taylor.
Amazing. I'm so proud of those guys.
I
You
know,
what?
right?
And you know what? Listen, they listened to the Electric Bat Arcade podcast.
Yeah.
They learned all the tips and tricks. They took the tips and made made them their own,
Mm-hmm.
right? And they're successful. That's why you should always listen to the Electric Badcast.
I would say they would say a lot of that is true. Okay, seriously. And you were so helpful in the beginning. A lot of texts I would send to you and Rachel and anyone that doesn't listen to Electric Bat's out of their mind. But if you want to become an operator at any time, start at episode 1 and keep going. And they're really good listens. And the two of them are a great pod. There you go.
Yeah,
but
fun.
you don't need me to promote you.
Thanks
You're
for the
doing
plug.
great. You don't need the plug. You're the number 1 podcast. You're fucking last Twippy on it.
That's right. Pro. I'm getting the Pro. Yeah. So Rachel and I, would the premium LE layout looks amazing, amazing.
Yeah, so they're going to get the premium, later. But the cool thing about what Stern's doing for operators, dude, is getting those pros out right away. And
that's the best move.
It's such a good kudos on them, right? And then if there's something wrong, like there was on the Pokemon Pro, you guys are so good, you fix it.
That's right. Yeah. We have, and we still have both Pokemon games on the floor. We're gonna have to sell one. We just don't have enough room to keep them all around.
But when that code comes, you'll get another probably resurgence on the Pokemon, don't you think?
I mean, if it comes, I don't. This is what I'm. It's taken so long. This is what I'm worried about. For one thing, I was keeping 2 Pokemon games in the arcade because I thought once the code they were talking about on the Loser, I think it was the Loser Kid podcast when Tanyo held up the phone and showed
the
Pokedex, right? When we all thought that was coming, I was like, oh, that might be a good idea to keep 2 games around for a little bit longer. Because once that comes out, people are going to just be parking on the game trying to catch all these little creatures. But something's going on. I don't think we know the details. Anybody knows the details? Outside of Stern, but it seems like they're having trouble implementing that. And if you just think about what's going on, I mean, they probably approved. Licensing for them to build a pinball machine, and they did a bang up job. I mean, the game's beautiful. Some of the coolest sculpts. I mean, it looks like the Pokemon license come to life. It's just in the truest sense.
Totally agree.
But for them to implement the gaming side of it on a mobile device, I bet they've run into issues.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Because Nintendo or Game Freak or the Pokemon company, whoever they're dealing with, I bet they would consider that a separate game. And so
not an add-on.
I could see I could see where there's something's not copacetic.
Yeah, licensors
in that aspect.
They're doing it's a licensor thing. It could be still. I'm not saying we're not calling them liars, right? We're just saying it could be a litany of things.
That issue I'm talking about is a licensor thing. Technically.
Yeah, that's true. Like Doc Mario says, Pokemon Fever, my local pen, has totally dried up. I see that, right? I mean,
isn't it weird?
Well, we're so in this hobby, particularly because we're really at a spoiled time. I think we're spoiled rotten. that
you think just started recently,
but man, we really are, dude.
We've been spoiled for years, man.
I know, man. We're so spoiled that if it's not here now, forget it. They just dump it. I'll pick one up later because they don't have to worry about it. It's not like a Winchester, right?
Oh, put Ozzy's thing up there. George Gomez said Niantic was the problem and said IC is a direct competitor. So this does sound like
they have to rename the Pokedex to. He says they need to rename the Pokedex to Collection.
See, so what I was guessing is
spot on. Boy, you really have an uncanny ability, ladies and gentlemen. I tell him this all the time off camera. but it's really freaking amazing. Like
It's,
you
it's,
pulled Dracula out of your ass.
that scared me.
Did it?
But you know, I can't I take the credit. Was it hold on, my tripod's messed up or whatever this thing's
No
called.
worries.
My boom mark
No
boom arm.
worries.
I told you how I got that, right?
Yeah, you said it was
And
an unlicensed game, and you
I
went
put it
through.
I put it in Chat GPT.
Yeah,
And like what makes sense? You know, Stern Pinball's working on a game to come out next year with a what do you call it? Like a loyalty, like a
unlicensed property.
unlicensed property. There you go. What would make the most sense? And can you give me a list of unlicensed properties that would make sense?
Right.
The first thing it said was Dracula, and then it went down some other monster stuff. Um, because I think like generic Wolfman stuff like that.
Okay.
Maybe
That makes
Frankenstein.
sense.
There was a whole list, but at the top it said Dracula makes the most sense.
Okay.
Yeah, but that was just a wild guess. Plus me slash me and Chat GPT.
Nicely done, dude. Nicely done. Pulling the Dracula. And
So
are you
for,
hearing some more about Dracula?
I can guess like I did before.
Okay.
You want me to guess?
I want you to guess some more because you're doing really well with this. So, I mean, you're batting really well on your guesses.
I imagine it being in like a 1800s, like a Victorian like Gothic setting.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, you know, the success of Winchester, maybe make it dark, right? Make it,
oh, it would be
yeah.
good.
Okay.
And I have a feeling you're not Dracula. You're a
Okay.
Dracula hunter.
Yes.
You like this?
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
you got to think this team they just did Dungeons and Dragons.
Right.
So, Pen Pal, sir, can you you let me give Serge? If I send you a link, can you come in here?
Yeah.
let me-
Let's get Serge in here.
Yeah,
I
we
would
gotta
love
get
that.
Serge. Okay, so 1800 Victorian Gothic looking. You're a vampire hunter, and I would imagine they want to, since they did so well with the RPG elements in Dungeons and Dragons. I think you're going to see those elements here, where you'll be able to select different characters, you know,
So,
and
do you know it's Dwight and Brian Eddy?
I know it's Brian Eddy. I'm just guessing it's Dwight.
Makes sense. Right.
Yeah, it has to be. That's the team. But they've been work. What else did they work on? A Venom.
Mandalorian.
Yeah. Oh, was Dwight on that?
I don't know if Dwight was on that. I might be talking.
Chat. Will chat tell us?
Chat. Yeah. No question.
D&D, but I think you'll be able to select multiple players and go off. Like you'll have different areas to play in, like Romania, London, you know, around places around Europe where you would.
Now we're just guessing, Doc, but Doc wants to know like a Buffy or Van Helsing. Helsing. I see more Van Helsing, like old, you know.
Right, exactly. Van Helsing.
Old.
Yeah. And how, man, this is going to be a really interesting thing because this is going to be hard to sell.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I think the pinheads will be into it, but it's a hard sell for like new pinball players. But I think the pinheads are going to be really into it. It sounds like, I mean, the whole premise sounds super, super cool.
It really does.
What's up, Dustin? Welcome
Hey,
to the
Dustin.
chat.
We're going to have people join later. We're waiting on Serge to see if he could do it. But later on, you know, when we hit the 45-minute hour mark, I'm going to throw the link into the chat. And if people want to come and ask us questions directly, come on in. Why not?
Yeah, hold on. I got you, Serge. Hold tight, buddy.
He said, I'll join if I'm not interrupting your bro time. Get in here. Get in here, Serge. Guy's the best.
Yeah, I got him.
Okay, cool. Yeah, but we'll give that out later. We were trying to do the call-in show, but we just couldn't figure it out. But I know who. There's somebody in chat who can figure that out, and that's Sterling.
Yeah. Jeff, Cale has not given. I mean, Jack has not given me an Harry Potter. But right now I wouldn't want a Harry Potter. What would I want?
Yeah, you want a Sonic because
You
it's
want a
right
Sonic.
here.
You
It's
want
right
a
in your face.
Sonic.
You want the new one, the shiny new toy.
So check it out. In the chat, Frank D'Angelo. Where was it? The Pokedex is a trade. There are trademark issues. So what I guessed was right.
Oh, okay, I see it right here.
So they just have to, and the guys at Stern are smart. They can figure out how to make this happen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they got to though. They got to.
But in the
banger.
interim, I know. But in the interim, at least let us see on the display, right? I mean, I know it flashes up slowly, but let us like pause it and scroll through it somehow. I don't know.
You got to, man. You just got to. Christopher Franchi in the house. Hello, Mr. Franchi. Thank you again for joining the round table. We are 2/3 of the round table tonight.
Yeah, you want to get in here, Chris?
You need to download one of those call apps that connects your number and connect your phone to your Rodecaster using the Bluetooth setting. See, you were right.
Oh, you don't even need a phone?
He says you connect one of those call apps. Gives you access to a number. Well, we're gonna do it. We're gonna the next time we go live, we're gonna do a call-in show.
It's gonna be like Art Bell.
I would love. Yeah, hell yeah, I do. I would love to do that. That would be an absolute hoot. Having people call in, asking their questions.
Like only people who are possessed line. It's like stuff like that. Witches line. You remember all that?
I don't remember listening that much to him.
Only
I just remember who he was.
Do you know Rachel and I listen every night?
Really?
They're rerun. Well, all the stuff's on Spotify. I mean, it's on YouTube. It's all over the place. Ready, Buddy's ready. Buddy Andrews ready for Van Halen. You're ready for Van Halen, Jamie.
Yeah,
and you're
I
also
am.
ready to give Canada. You bet Canada $100 they could not get that IP. They couldn't land that IP.
Well, I still want to see them announce it, and then I'll Venmo them $100. Right now they could have the IP and never make it. That doesn't count. They got to make the damn thing, I think.
The quote was that they'll never get it.
But he never even accepted the bet, though.
He didn't have to. You said, "I bet you."
Yes,
I told him to take it.
Let's ask chat. If I said to Cale, "Hey, Cale, I bet you $100 I can beat you in arm wrestling," and Cale doesn't say anything, then the bet's off. You gotta. Hey, Serge.
What's going on, gentlemen? How you doing?
If I bet you $100,
go on.
Okay, and you don't accept $100, and then I wind up losing the bet, do you come back and get $100?
I'm not that kind of bettor. No, I take the bet or I don't take the bet.
That's right. So Canada never officially took the bet. I've got the chat. I mean, we've got it.
Hey, Jamie, that's not Christopher Franchi.
Oh, it's Franchi?
That's Christopher Tranchi.
Oh, I love Tranchi just as much.
All right.
I don't think Van Halen has the fan group anymore to get LEs. That's my opinion on it.
Oh, really?
I'm not saying I don't like Van Halen. I'm not saying that people don't like Van Halen, but I'm saying I don't actually think they have the draw that like a new Metallica does, as bands from that era go. Do you disagree with that?
I think the fan base is not as strong as Metallica. That's hard. Metallica sells out stadiums.
They're the biggest like rock/metal band in the world.
And they're
still playing, and they're still touring,
and they're probably the biggest American band ever made. All right, I would have a tough time saying anyone else than Metallica. So,
right. Are they smaller or bigger than Rush?
Oh, bigger.
Metallica?
No, sorry, Van Halen. Van Halen versus Rush. like just by brand name, popularity, fan base, devotion, that sort of thing?
I think Van Halen is bigger.
I
We're gonna,
yeah.
what do
I
you think,
also
Chad?
think I
Okay.
also think that's true.
Yes.
And I was trying to level set because I'm like, it also matters, is it a good game and all of that. But also, thanks so much. It's also, but,
Hey, Serge, can you turn your camera just a little bit so you're
oh,
centered?
oh yeah, you're right.
We want to
Because
see you,
yeah,
Serge.
All right, 1 second. Let's see. How's that? It's nothing, no change at all. Wait, how about
there
that?
you go.
There you go.
Yeah, all
My
right.
technique
I
was
see
moving
this
my
good
chair.
looking dude.
That's that.
Um,
Pin says there's only 2 Van Halen albums. That's crazy. Come on.
You know what's interesting? I was thinking about this yesterday. I was at a friend's house for a party, and there were like
crawfish boil.
there were a lot of kids around, and
Were you the only adult?
it wasn't. We weren't on an island, okay?
Do you know
so-
that? Can I tell the joke you did on that Predator game or no?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, this is what I got. Did you tell this joke already online?
I did. I told this somewhere on the
Dude,
on the
this is
round
what this guy
table.
does. I'm sorry, I have to let you tell your story, Cale. But
You
first,
go.
we get this game one night only at Electric Bat Predator, and so then they wrap it up and bring it to I forget which Expo or something.
It was Expo.
Yeah, it
And
was
so
Expo.
Cale cuts out a picture of Jeffrey Epstein and puts it on instead of the Predator on the Predator's picture, and then they close the game. He doesn't tell anyone, and they open it there on the floor of Expo, and I don't think they noticed for a while.
They did not. Don from Don's Pinball podcast
fair enough.
noticed it.
It's a pretty funny joke, though. Just saying.
You know what?
Sorry, Cale, you go.
You have to have somebody like me around.
A necessary evil.
You have to. And what would this world be without the agents of chaos?
Right. You're like chaotic neutral or whatever.
Right.
Maybe
Right.
chaotic good.
If you want the rock and roll, you want the Rolling Stones, you want the Beatles, you're gonna have to handle doo-doo in the street sometimes.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Well, anyway, I think Rush didn't sell that well, did it? As these things go, and so I'm trying to get a sense of the band against other band music pins.
Do we know? Is it Elliot Eisman doing? Not Elliot Eisman. What's
Mark
his name?
Seiden.
Mark Seiden doing Van Halen. Do
No
we know
idea.
that?
No
we have
idea.
we have no clue there, right? I was
Were you
just
an
curious.
Avatar guy, Jamie?
Not really. Okay. I think the crab was really kind of cool. All right.
Oh, the little lower playfield.
I thought that was kind of neat, and I know that got shit on a lot. But I thought it was kind of cool. But it was definitely a beautiful game.
Beautiful game too. Right.
Yeah, I just couldn't get into it, and there wasn't one around. So I'm a location player, so it's hard. It's hard for me when there's not one around.
We had one at the bat that Game Room Goodies let us borrow. We had fun with it, but then it kept breaking. So
That's the problem with JJPs at the bat.
yeah, they can't really handle the play, man.
Yeah.
That's why Jack needs to send me a Sonic so we can test it.
But Kel, what broke? Was it the guy arm going up and down on the slingshot? I mean,
Oh,
what's there?
no.
What was there breaking?
Oh, well, that did, but we were able to easily fix that. It was just a bunch of other issues. They always have problems with their light boards because they and I don't know if this is the problem. Some people hypothesize it is. Rachel thinks it is, but they use just like off the shelf USB-C connectors for all of their light boards. And I don't know if it's the vibrate. It's not like a serious locking connector that most of all the other manufacturers use. Spooky I know they use USB-C for some stuff. Maybe they have gotten away from that, but it would cause the light boards to glitch out and like not work, and then a big screen flashes or a big window flashes on the screen saying. This lily pad, something's out, check it out. And so then, casuals or even like experienced players think, well, the game's broken, so they turn it off. And that always happens with Jersey Jacks. We have the real Chris Franchi in the house now.
and Chris Tranchi.
And we want to see them fight.
Oh, I I don't think we need that, but I think it's all love here at the JBS show and Cale and Jamie live.
A year ago, we set up a controversial art pinball podcast, and Cale and I just
Oh,
never did it.
we're
We
doing
always found a reason not to do it. What are you going to say, Cale?
we're doing it with Frenchie.
This time we're really going to do it.
Yeah.
We kind of cataloged all of controversies from like recent different things in Sterner and JJP all the way back to like 60 years ago, and all these different categories of controversies, and we're just going to show the art and talk through it. And I thought that might be interesting, but it definitely is like the episode that gets us canceled.
Nah, you won't get canceled. Everybody loves the Pin Pals. Who the hell doesn't love Pin
But
Pals?
also, we're not worried about getting canceled because if we get canceled, we'll just go back to the Bat Arcade and play some games and hang out.
Yeah,
We're going to do it on Rumble, right, Cale?
Go on about our life. Yeah,
Rumble. There you go. All right. Do you want to go through some topics with Serge?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, did we? We didn't show Serge the shop, the Stern
AI shop. No,
The
we
shop.
didn't.
Let's go back to that because there's probably more people in the chat now that need to see this because you showed it
right.
at the beginning of the show. Okay, so Serge, somebody got in touch with me just like a couple of hours ago and sent me a screen grab and was like, "What the hell is this?"
This is the Stern store collection of all products. What is this thing here, Serge?
That looks like Lana Del Rey or something? Stern
Yeah.
jersey sweatpants.
I mean,
Okay,
what is
so-
this? Oh, that's Jamie.
Oh,
You
that's
don't need
Jamie.
that. Oh, what's going on? Jamie, here it is.
Okay, here we go. So, the person sent me the screen grab. I was like, "Is that real?"
First of all, it's an
And
AI
he-
lady.
And he said, "Go check it out." So I went to Facebook, and it immediately popped up in my feed. So I did. I reached out to somebody at Stern because I wanted to let them know
We'll
this
put
was
that on our
going
AI
on.
and art controversy.
Right? Yeah. Yes. Perfect.
Because I don't think that lady is real, Cale.
No, it's not.
No, it's not a real person.
And,
I already sent her $100.
yeah. On
She's
Grinder.
she's like top 10 on OnlyFans or something.
All right, George's Arcade
Kidding, I'm
says
kidding.
he wants to hear some juicy nuggets of info. He doesn't like what we're doing so far, George.
Well,
Okay.
I know. Sorry, you go, Cale.
Um.
Well, there was rumor on Canada. We'll give the credit to Canada's podcast.
Oh,
that
Yeah.
which I don't know if you talked about it already, but that after Fallout.
Jamie did. Jamie did.
I
Did we already bring it up here? I won't say it. I won't. We don't have to cover it
Well,
again.
no,
Star
drop
Trek.
it real quick. Drop it real quick. There might be some new chatters.
Yeah, so for people joining that, Elwin is doing Star Trek, which I'm excited about. I'd say because first of all, like the themes he gets sometimes, Jaws is a huge theme, right? But I think that having like a branded theme that could be biggish on its own, plus Elwin can be really really good. Like Iron Maiden, kind of some people not their cup of tea. I guess Jurassic Park is big enough, but I think
That's a great point, Serge. And because somebody asked in the chat, do we really need another Star Trek? And I think you're answering that.
I think it's a worldwide known property that combined with a great designer, like you take Godzilla, like now Godzilla, there was a lot more Godzilla that's come out, Godzilla -1, and there's an Apple TV show or whatever. But when he made Godzilla, I wouldn't have said that that's a particularly huge fan base. Maybe you'll hate that. People hate me saying on that. Like everyone knows Godzilla, but they don't have like Godzilla bed sheets or whatever. And I think that he made it what it is, and he made it as popular as it is. So by giving him something that already has a lot of big fan base out there, I think it's going to be that much more of a banger,
And also, Star Trek, no matter which version or generation it was, has always worked in pinball.
Right? Maybe not like the newest, like Starfleet Academy kind of stuff, but
Well,
like.
I think people were bringing that
Yeah,
up
they were
too.
bringing that up too.
Nobody wanted Starfleet Academy.
Right. If it's Starfleet Academy, it may not go as well, but like the original series still has its favorites, and William Shatner is still alive. He's like 95 or whatever he is, but he's still with it. Maybe he
still
could do the call outs. He could still do call outs.
and he would love to do some call outs.
Right.
Yeah, he'll do call outs.
Denny Crane. Yeah.
You know who would do call outs? What about Hey Now? George
Fat Al?
Takei.
Howard Stern. Oh, George Takei.
George Takei. Hey Now.
Oh,
He's
that
still
would
around
be
too, right?
phenomenal.
Right.
George
pretty sure he
Takei
is.
multi-ball? I don't know.
I played George Takei multi-ball. He's 89 right now.
He's still with us, right?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. Okay. There we go. Now they want to know, is it the OG movies or the OG TV show? We don't know.
I bet you it's a TV show.
I bet you it is too.
Yep.
Just
It
like
has to be.
Transformers is the TV show. You know,
Right.
but I don't think that's I know like people might be more into movies than TV shows. Same for Transformers or whatever, the G1 movie. I mean, but I think that in pinball, getting the TV show, which is like usually another like layer of corniness, actually works for pinball. You know, it's like
Oh,
campy.
yeah.
You want the campiness in pinball.
Right. Like
We were talking about
Godzilla.
Batman 66.
Right,
Like, how
campy works.
campy that is.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
I mean, it's just Camp City, but it's
Yes,
so fucking good.
absolutely. I remember Tribbles.
Yeah,
Oh my, that's
Is
right.
that
it
Joe?
was-
Is that
oh
Joe
my.
Cherovino? That looks like his image right there, right?
Yeah, we got a question. Is Star Trek a nightmare to operate?
Which one?
I mean, the TNG is, right? But not,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't think Stern Star Trek is.
Well,
Trash Can Ninja really wants.
ours. Mark took the one we had at the arcade home because he couldn't figure out what was going on with it, and maybe just he has so many games. He just if something happens to one, he'll just swap them out. So it may have been something somebody else could fix. But I think a lot of people operate them.
G.I. Joe over Star Trek. Why is there not a G.I. Joe? God, me and you talk about this all the time.
Well, Star Trek is a better move for sales, but I would rather see I'd rather see Keith do G.I. Joe.
Star Trek, you think, has better sales than G.I. Joe?
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah,
I agree with that as well. But God, G.I. Joe. Would I love that? Is my echo cancellation on again? I need to check something real quick.
So Cale and I are doing a podcast tomorrow, right, Cale?
Yep.
Tomorrow night we're meeting with Raymond Davidson, if you will. We're doing going over the full Star Trek Fall of the Empire deep dive.
Star Wars.
That's what damn it, I blew that. Star
No,
Wars.
I've
Fall
done
of
it.
the
I
Empire.
did it earlier. I did it earlier before you joined. That's why
Yeah,
I'm
you're
busting
right.
your balls.
Right. Which is a great coded game.
It
Say
is.
that. Right. I know the layout is not for everyone, and I get that, but the code is amazing on it.
The layout, though.
Which one are you guys talking about?
We're talking about
Fall.
Star Wars. Star Wars
distracted.
Fall of the Empire.
Oh,
We're doing the podcast tomorrow with Ray Day,
And
going into a deep dive of the code. And I was just saying the code is great on that game.
you don't like the layout, huh?
No.
You,
I just don't.
You know what's interesting? I heard that the Death Star shot, the notorious shot that everybody's like, rejects and
Yeah, it
yeah,
rejects.
Tom has always been talking about this on Triple Drain. It's just like it's a running joke, right? This is a very hard shot to hit, even after you install that new part.
Right.
So originally, that Death Star was at playfield level. That's how
Okay.
it was. That's how it was designed, and it was a scoop that was very easy to hit. You could even very easily backhand it.
Like on the Data East Star Wars that John Borg designed like 30 years before, or whatever the time is.
There you go.
Right, which was
And
also a backhandable kind of Death Star.
Right. So it was like a last minute change, just to get the Death Star like front and center, like up in the air instead of on the
Instead of on the
playfield.
ground.
Yeah.
That's a mistake. Hindsight game. We're playing a little hindsight game, Serge.
Well, I won't ask tomorrow about that, but that is interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, because it would be interesting to ask, like, what's it like? Maybe you already had code for it in one location, and then now the shot's more difficult. How does that change the way you think about code? But no reason to get into that.
Yeah. Serge, Christopher Franchi wants to see your other brain.
Do you,
Oh, it's in the shop.
Do you in fact have two brains?
That was a great Steve Martin movie.
Now, my head, do you think my head is bigger than your head?
I think with your hair, yes.
My skull and everything.
With the hair, definitely. The skull. Well, there used to be a science of phrenology, where you would feel people's
Here
heads.
we go, ladies and gentlemen,
and understand what they were good at, what they weren't, based on the shape of their skull or whatever.
Yeah.
But you've been hit in the skull a few times, right, Cale?
I have. I've taken some hits, man.
That's what's wrong with him, ladies and gentlemen. If you were wondering.
But your brain,
I think,
is more dense than mine.
Well, first of all, it's very kind, and I don't know that, but I would say that we're all good at different things, and I have my things that I'm good at, and I have lots of things I'm really stupid at.
Okay.
I had some like my family makes fun of me because I had like a deodorant that I was like trying to put on for like 3 weeks. And I'm like, I just don't think this thing is giving me the coverage I need, and then they looked at it and like, I never took off the plastic piece, under the cap or whatever. And what does that have to do with, you can't win them all is what I'm saying. What does that have to do with memorizing pinball code? Very, very little.
So what, now that I've got you here, technically it's a somewhat of an interview, Serge.
Oh, don't you tell Dirty Pool.
Okay, so I win.
Oh man,
I got you first. Yeah, Jamie and Cale, we got you.
Right, that's very kind of you. It's been a running joke that Cale, Jeff asked me and some other people to go on, and I feel weird about doing interviews or whatever.
Right.
It's just a weird thing. It's such a niche hobby already, and I'm just somebody talking about a niche hobby. To interview with somebody who's talking about a niche hobby feels like too meta for me, or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, I'm not going to do anything. And but you might have technically won now, I guess.
I did win. And
you could get me with the impromptu thing, I guess.
But so now I'm going to ask you an interview question. Tell the story of how you walked up to Cale and how you got into streaming with him. Tell that story.
Cale told me I should do it, and I'm like, nah, or whatever. And he's like, no, we should just get on and talk about it, because we like to talk after league night about all sorts of dumb stuff. And I don't know, Cale, maybe you tell it better, but that's what I would say.
So I think wasn't the first time. So we got all the rig parts together. Me and John Schoppel did all the troubleshooting, trying to get it together, and we still didn't have it dialed in. As Jamie, it takes a long time.
Yeah.
When you start from nothing.
Yeah.
So I think we did one stream before Arizona State Championships.
Oh, right.
That's why we got the rig together. Because the state championships were going to be at the Electric Bat, and they're going to be at the Electric Bat this year.
Great.
Serge, you ready for that? Put that on your calendar.
All right, let's do it.
And you're going to stream that, right?
Oh, hell yeah.
I mean, come on. That's where you need a second rig, though, Cale.
So Serge sits down next to me, and nobody had any idea what to expect. And we were just all anybody who's seen the stream, we were just blown away. Like Serge, he did his research. He knew the rules to every single game we were streaming, and we were like immediately we were like, this is a thing now, right? This is.
I'll admit it's a pet peeve of mine when people do commentary on very big tournaments, really big tournaments, and they just don't know the games, and you know the games in advance in those tournaments.
Right.
And I'm not saying everyone's got to know all the rules of every game. I get that. It's hard to do. But if you know you're going to a tournament where you know the games that are going to be there, and you already know you're going to be doing commentary on those games, yeah, I think you should look up the rules. That's what I think.
Yeah.
What say you, Jamie?
Because I used to stream.
Take?
No. I used to stream a lot, and what I would do is I made sure there was a Serge. Now there's only one Serge. But there was a Serge sitting next to me, okay, and not particularly just a Cale, meaning that Cale's job on the stream is to keep it flowing and not know everything about every particular machine. That's where you come in and help him out, okay? And that's what a dynamic duo does, okay? Cale and I played the role of, Joe Buck.
Yeah,
How about that?
That's fair too. But like also like you also don't have to know the rules of the game, but like there are a lot of these games that just have the rules online. And so you could have like a laptop next to you of the rules while you're commentating. I don't think there's anything wrong with that either.
Mm-mm.
And then, you could say, well, you can't be sitting there and looking rules up or whatever. But then I'll hear people do commentary where they have like 5-minute discussions on trying to figure out the rules, but not look them up. And I'm always surprised at that. I'm like, it would be much faster just to look it up.
Yeah.
All right, get off my high horse about it.
Yes, it's okay. It's all right. You're very, very good at this, and that's why you want it. This is your. I was a freak when I was at the old joint on quality of audio and video. That is what drove me to know and Cale was if the video quality wasn't good enough with the 2 rigs. I lost my shit. Couldn't handle it.
We do have a trivia question in chat a little higher, which was, what was the first game to have a physical ball lock? I'm going to try to think of the answer to that. The first thing I would say when you ask me is the first game to have a multi-ball was Firepower, 1980 Firepower, right? And that had physical ball locks. But you could argue that there was multi-ball before. That was the first solid state game with a multi-ball. There was like balls a poppin' from an electromechanical from like decades earlier. And you could argue like that kind of has physical ball locks. So I'm not sure if that's what we mean, but I'll stop there. You guys know?
No.
I have no idea. But it's probably some game where there was just like a saucer that held a ball, and then you could play with another one, and then it popped out. I don't know.
After you
Like
drain,
Space
maybe.
Shuttle?
Like there might have been a physical ball lock where it's like kind of like a ball save where it holds the ball and then.
Mm-hmm.
See, this is the type of thing. If I was on some sort of live commentary, I would look that up if I didn't know it. That's what I'm saying.
Someone said Firepower. And
That's what I just said. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I think you got it right.
All right, fair enough.
There you go.
Oh, thanks. Thank you, Bonson.
Is Matt from Barrels of Fun? He has the little Barrels of Fun logo. Do you know that guy?
Yeah, that's Matt Rodon.
You know all the Barrels people.
I know a lot of the Barrels people.
What are they
I
working
play
on?
pinball with.
What are they working
They won't tell
on?
me. They won't tell me anything. In fact, I don't even know if Matt knows, to be truthful. They keep their circle so tight. That's how they do it.
They are the only company
ones that do it.
that can do that.
Yeah.
It's probably maybe it's a smaller team, but also like
Yep.
if you ask me if I can have my dream theme made by any company right now, for me it's Barrels. That's what would be making my dream theme over Jersey Jack or Stern or
Really?
Spooky.
That's a hot take.
Yeah, maybe that might well be a hot take. I know, and I know they've only made like 3 games, but yeah, I think it's also about what you want in a game. I'm not saying the answer from like an operator's perspective like Cale, but for me, they are very much about integrating a theme and making moments. That is, you could tell that that's the thing that they're going for. How many moments can we fit into a game? That's what I think. That's what I think when I play their games. And it's not like nobody else is thinking that, or that's a new thing that nobody ever decided upon trying for in moments. But I don't think anybody's doing it as much as they are.
Ozzy wants to know, do they have Masters of the Universe? Nobody knows, Ozzy.
I have no idea. Oh, Joe Cheravino's here with some trivia answers.
Okay. Baffle ball lock. What's he saying over here?
Yeah, it's a tricky thing, which is like there was before even flippers, and I saw this on a YouTube video not so long ago that we sent on the Electropat Discord. But they had on Expo the guy who collects all the flipperless bagatelle type pinball machines, and they had a multi-ball in that one that had a physical ball lock, and they had the first multi-ball there. Nice, Jeff.
What
Jeff,
is going on?
You know what's really great about this, Jeff? This is great.
Jamie,
Because now I did nothing wrong.
does it look like Serge is here? What's going on here?
Thank you.
What
for
the
hooking this
hell?
up. I was just trying to do that, and I'm so glad you gave this to him. It's so fucking great.
What is going on here?
What's going on
What
here?
is this?
We invited you because we thought, you know what? Let's do it together. Let's interview Serge together.
It's a collaborative experience. What's going on, guys?
How are you, man? Great to see you, Jeff Dodson.
Sorry,
I
Chris.
see that you've convinced Serge to be on a non-electric bat live stream / tournament.
I know. That's how good we are.
Well, in fairness, I didn't think this was an interview. First of all, I just
Turning
thought
into one.
I didn't expect an interview. and
I
I thought I
asked
could
him
keep my
one
streak.
question. I asked him one interview question just so that I could beat you to it.
We should ask him two.
Well,
Go
now,
ahead, ask him one.
Jeff. Before you do that,
Sure.
did you catch all the nice things he was saying about Barrels of Fun just now?
Which I just realized made
I
Franchi
heard a
upset.
little bit that you said that Barrels of Fun has tight-lipped ships, which you are absolutely correct about.
That's true, but what I was saying was, and apparently it's a hot take, and people who don't love me in chat necessarily for this, but if I had one dream theme and I could say which company I'd prefer to make me made by, for me it's Barrels of Fun. That's what I would say.
Oh my Lord, you're just saying that because I joined.
No,
No, he didn't. He said it before.
I mean, I don't think you're wrong. I think
that's
Barrels
exactly
of Fun
what
has.
and he had a great reason for it. Go ahead, Serge.
Yeah, my reason is that
Hey, real quick,
Yeah.
chat wants to know. Can you turn down your audio just a little bit?
Is
Doug?
it feedbacking? That's
It's-
what I was
well,
thinking.
yeah,
That's
it's
what I was-
super
Here, I'll
hot.
tell you what. I'll do one better. I'll put headphones on.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, Cascade. There you go. Shout out to you, Cascade.
and for Chris Ranchi, if I could have art from one artist on any pinball machine, it would be Chris Ranchi, and I'm not just saying that because he's in chat.
they
and
want
I'll
to know
give
where
Spooky
Ralph
number two.
is. Ralph is not because he's under NDA. He is Ozzy, out with the wife. He's
Yep.
right.
Yeah, he's traveling a lot.
Yeah.
This coming week, so he's spending Memorial Day weekend exclusively with the wife, which is a smart thing
It's a good call.
because she's an awesome person.
Yeah, don't get in trouble with the missus, right? That's rule number one of pinball.
Right. How's Dirty Pool audio, everybody?
Am I too hot? I can turn that down too.
Yeah, turn down
Just a little.
bit. Yeah, what are you using, bro?
How's
you got,
that?
you got like a
How's that?
shotgun mic or something pointed at you?
No, I'm using a good old U87, man.
Oh, damn, bro.
Yeah.
What?
It's the same
Whoa.
mic we recorded the call outs for Winchester on.
What a
Dang.
flex. Oh,
He's
you should
flexing.
auction that thing.
It's just in the arsenal,
Um,
part of the process. Is that better? Am I not as loud now?
No, you're good now. Much better.
Well, I'll say
appreciate it.
because we like chat and we pay attention to chat around here. That for a few questions on like, hey, what's a moment? What makes the moment? And also, have I played the new Dune code? You know, with it, and the answer is yes for both. And to say like a moment, you could make a moment out of a mech. That's easy to do, right? Like if you have a ship firing a ball, like on JGP's Pirates, that makes a moment without a doubt. That's like a very good and important way to make a moment. But what impresses me more is when somebody does it purely through zeros and ones on code. You know, like in Jurassic Park, the smart missile shot, 3, 2, 1, fire, and you hit that smart missile shot. That is a moment. It feels like a moment. Of course, it's a cool moment when the premium T-Rex or LE T-Rex eats the ball and throws it, and that's of course a cool moment. But to make it out of just the smart missile shot, that's just code that's doing it. You know, so that to me takes another level of artistry, I would say, where it makes people feel like intense, a spike in adrenaline in a single moment of the game. In pinball already has adrenaline going, but when you have this one thing you have to do and something cool happens in it, that is for me what makes a moment, and it especially impresses me when it's code based. And so you take like Dune for example, you know, like obviously I could say, oh, the worm mech is like really cool, and it is, you know, and that's a moment, fine, desert power multi-ball and the ball comes up. But first of all, they do a lot. It's not just the mech. The screen goes big. For example, they get rid of all the display. They don't show any animations. It's just the screen and the desert power, and they pause for it. And then, like non-mech moments, for example, like just the pain box idea. Every game these days has 2 flippers and an action button. You know, you could drain a ball and then have the same moment happen where you have to hold down an action button and then move your hands left and right. But they thought of doing it, and other people hadn't. And so I'm saying you could make it. That's a code. That's just a moment purely out of code, as an example. So that's what impresses me with Dune.
To jump on that a little bit too, I think that moments are moments, but it's the choreography between everything that is what really makes a moment like absolutely sell. Because you've got to orchestrate all of the lighting, the sound, the animation, the actual physical mechs moving. And if you don't have all of those things triggering together, like that's truly what a moment is. Just having the ball dump off the worm is cool and all, but the fact that it like builds up to that moment and all these different things play off, I think that's the modern pinball, like, you know, serotonin rush.
Yeah, and 007 Bond is saying another one I was about to say too, which is the Coliseum mode. It's like it's a white mode where all the shots are white. I think you get it after like your 5th a mystery award, B'nai Gesserit award on the left orbit, and then the entire game turns white, which is already cool because that's never otherwise happens in the game with that lighting. But also the screen is white, these clips are in the black and white kind of thing, and then they do the thing, they sync it up to the movie clips where in the movie he's wearing this sort of what do you call it, the body armor that like like it's like electronic
Holtzman
body armor.
shields.
There it is. Thank you. There's shields around it, and so for the first half of the mode, the game every time you make a shot, or certain switches happen, it like does that kind of shield effect in the game, and your ball save is still on. But then eventually in the movie, he turns off the shield, and similarly your ball save turns off. And so it's just like there's a lot of movie integration and theme immersion in those moments like that. That is just next level on that game, for example, and tells me, hey, these people really care about integrating the theme.
Wait, so what's your dream theme that you want Barrels to make?
Oh, damn it. I wasn't even ready for that.
No, Francie wants to know. Chat's dying to know.
Man, boy, I don't think isn't that weird? I don't think I was ready. You guys talk amongst yourselves. I'm going to think about this for a second.
Well,
I want to give a thoughtful
Cale
answer.
and I always say G.I. Joe, right? That's the one.
Yeah, I
that's
need G.I.
driving,
Joe.
That's driving us crazy.
Yeah.
is, I want a badass Destro with a hooded Cobra Commander. The hood. Come on.
Do you think the success of Transformers is going to determine if the G.I. Joe pinball machine happens?
Yeah.
I mean, they're in the same like family.
Well, it's Hasbro, right?
Yeah, but they always have been. In the comics, there were always crossovers, and there's two weird universes to cross over, but it does. And in the comics now,
I know.
there's a whole new series.
Serge's got it.
Sorry, I was thinking about it for a second. All right, let me give you a
got
few. I would have said Batman the Animated Series. First of all, sorry, that was interesting for
Good
me.
choice.
I would have said Zelda, which is like not a mysterious one to mention that people have wanted, and maybe other video game themes that I've wanted, like a better Mario or even Metroid, something like that. I know they're making Sonic or whatever, but I was a Nintendo kid. So anyway, I think I would say like Batman the Animated Series.
There's a funny circular thing with that. So the person that taught me my ear training and a lot of my like music theory is he did 2 episodes of Batman the Animated Series. He scored them and then orchestrated all the rest of them. So that would be a cool circular moment. I would love to work on Batman the Animated Series. I think it's peak Batman.
It also, I know they've been Batman games before, but I think the animated series particularly works well for pinball. I think they've got a lot of episodes with a lot of villains and a lot of modes. They've got a lot of clips that can be used, that can fill up. They've got orchestral music, and the animations are already there. So I think it works well. And I know the voice has died, unfortunately, a few years ago, but I think they could do a lot with it.
Sure. I mean, Starn just showed that you can make a pin out of like fully animated assets as well. So
Breaking here, Christopher Franchi says if it's Batman animated, he's in on art.
Yes.
Hey, Rachel.
I'm in on that, LA, too.
Everybody
no to
said hello.
Zelda.
no Zelda. What do you got against Zelda? What Zelda do to you?
I don't know. He doesn't.
You don't
like
want
Zelda.
Zelda. You guys know we almost had a Zelda. Gladiators was supposed to be Zelda.
Really?
Yeah,
wow.
the old Gottlieb game.
Really?
But something happened and they weren't. Something fell apart while they were making it, so they switched it over to just a generic Gladiators.
Oh. All right, talk amongst yourselves. I need a Diet Coke, boys.
All right, are you gonna pee too?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm just
Cool.
looking out for him. So what do we got? What's on
Speaking
the
of
docket?
Franchi art in the background, check out that Batman 66. I'm jealous. That's a
Man, it's
great
beautiful.
game.
Isn't that awesome?
I watched that show too a lot as a kid, and I love that, like that integration in there too. But I'll tell you one thing.
Alex Gomez just said that game is so awful. How dare you speak poorly of Batman 66?
Is he
That's an
talking about
LFS code. That's a
is he
Gomez
talking
design.
Batman 66?
What
Hopefully he's
happened?
talking about Gladiator.
What did I miss?
Yeah, if he's talking about Gladiator. If
There's
he's
just
talking
no
about
way, right?
He's got to be talking about Gladiator.
if he's talking about Batman 66, you have to ban him, Jamie.
Okay.
It's like it
No,
just needs to
because-
be done.
Yeah, because this could be on my Mount Rushmore.
Okay,
Seriously.
it's Gladiators.
Yeah.
And we can rest easy. Everyone calm down.
Yeah.
Whew.
We almost had to kick somebody out, boys.
You know what's weird? You both have Gomez games behind you.
Yeah. Look
Yeah.
at that. I have 2 actually. I have a Lord of the Rings over there on the other side.
Oh.
Yeah.
I
You'll
think
see. Ready? Let's go on a rotating journey. Oh, that's Shadow.
That's Shadow.
Lord of the Rings is under the rig. I forgot that I moved it today. We're good. We're trying to get to Valinor again for the next stream, so it's Lord of the Rings time.
nice.
Hey, Serge, real quick, if they do a Batman 66 anniversary edition,
Right.
and they remaster it,
Batman animated series version. Sorry, keep
okay.
going.
No, you couldn't do the animated because you got Adam
Yeah,
West and
Crane in
everybody,
there.
right? You got Crane and shit. But don't you think it would be a nice little add-on? Is if you lit Mystery, you could get a TV letter once in a while.
Because otherwise you're not playing those TV modes enough. I think that's a nice add-on for people who would like that.
I think I would like that a
That's a-
lot.
No, yeah, no, I
Can we-
get what you're saying.
Can we grill Serge a little bit?
Yeah.
Some pop quiz questions.
All right, let's do it.
Serge, what do you think's a game that has the most underutilized modern code, like modern rule set? Like a game that had the layout to have potential, but just like the rules didn't bring it to where it needed to be.
I
Pokemon.
would say, well, that's an obvious answer.
That's still in
Pokemon.
development, though. I think
But
the
that's
game
still
it needs to be a
development.
complete game.
I'm going to give you an answer, Jeff, but I'm going to give you another hot take about Pokemon is for me, which is like people like eventually they're going to have presumably more things in the code, including achievements and all of that. But I don't think they were ever going to have the things in the code that people thought they were. People thought like you were going to have Pokemon and you were going to evolve them and you could trade them with your friends and everything. Like I don't think that was ever part of the plan whatsoever.
I agree.
It was just like it was going to be what it still end up might being, which is in my guess is just achievements. Like okay, I got this Pokemon, I got that Pokemon, and you're collecting several hundred of them. And every time you collect them, you're basically collecting them the same way. You're getting a bunch of switch hits, and then you have to spell catch by hitting certain shots, and then you hit the scoop and you get them. And it's just that recurrent thing, and you would try to collect them all, and that's fine or whatever. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but I think people had higher expectations of the code than were ever planned for. Even though right now they have underwhelmed on just giving the standard code. I think even if they had given the code, I don't think it would satisfy people.
I got a follow-up one for you then. Do you think expectations from IPs are damaging actual pinball releases? Because I'll use the example of Winchester. Like there's no IP, there's no expectation of what like the game should have been. So instead of coming in with like a preconceived notion of what the game's supposed to be, it's a clean slate.
Yeah, but there were also no preconceived notions, Jeff, because nobody knew the fucking thing was coming out until the night before Expo.
Well,
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, I'll give
in
an
a
answer.
way,
Nobody was going to be like, well, then you need to journey through a haunted house this way, you know, or
Right.
that way. Like it's different than, you know, there's how many Pokemon video games are there? Like all the rules are like there in a different format.
Yeah.
Now,
think
in a way,
you wanna
there
go,
was
Cal?
a preconceived notion with Winchester because there are 725 or whatever, how many people that love Carl and want to get a piece of his first machine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But also, that's not his first machine. He's talked about it. He helped on Dune, you know, he was involved a tiny bit on Labyrinth. Like that knowledge is out there. It's not his first like exclusive design, but
Go ahead,
Listen,
Serge.
Did people know that? I didn't know that.
It wasn't
It's
as
not
publicly
on
known.
release, but afterwards it was discussed. Because
Right.
Carl, you know, people were like, well, how long have you been working for Barrels? And like, you know, Carl's an honest man. So
Well,
Yeah.
first of all, I think there's it's not, pinball's a niche hobby, but within pinball, there are enthusiasts who treat it, I think, like some people treat films versus movies, where there are people who really want the auteur, who is the director and also the writer, like your Tarantino fans or Francis Ford Coppola or something like that. And I think when people see Carl, they're like, this is a person who's going to be the designer of the game layout, but also the rules designer. He's, most designers aren't that. You'll have like Elliot Eisman is doing the John Wick and somebody else does the rules. Jack Danger did an amazing job with Uncanny X-Men and the design. There are some issues with it, but like it's a pretty awesome, interesting design, but the rules weren't there and everything. And so when you see somebody like an Elwin or a Carl D'Angelo who is known in the hobby, is passionate about the hobby, and is not only designing a game, but coming together with the rules, it gives people, I'd say like me, confidence that, boy, this is going to be a banger because I know this person cares about what they do. It's obvious their passion, and they're going to be obsessive about the whole package. They're going to look into it. And I think that's what you get with Winchester. And I think that came across
Sure.
instantly.
Carl's too humble. Like, I'll say it right now. Carl does quality control on it. He's like testing the game every day. Like, all the new modes that come out, all the new releases for the code, he's in there trying to find as many bugs as possible. Like, he is extremely the complete package. The document he put together that like explained all the modes has lore behind it and like all the different like backstory for the characters. I mean, like, he is the entire package. He is like, I think, one of the best things that has happened to pinball in a long time. I don't know why he wasn't designing games sooner, but here we are.
Right, and that's what I think when I didn't even know all that detail, but I could assume all that detail, with
Right.
what Carl does. You could see it on stream, but also you could see like when somebody has so much passion and they're going to oversee the entirety of the project. Not, I mean, I don't want to say obviously you do sound and all that, but I mean like the rules and the layout. That is an auteur, in a certain sense, and that's somebody who just like people follow Elwin and they're excited for what he releases and they trust in him because he kind of tries to control a lot of the process, maybe less so like in the beginning of like Iron Maiden. Like, he's not just doing the design, he's doing the rules. People talk about him as like the best designer in pinball, and probably he is, but he's also the best rules designer in pinball. And people see that and they want that. So that's one element I think that worked in Winchester's favor. And then another thing is that there are some IPs that people have expectations on. There's some IPs that actually turn people off. And then there's some IPs that then are some things that are fairly unlicensed. I know Winchester is technically licensed, but like not well known, that you're not bringing in a ton of expectations for, and it's hard to bring in a ton of expectations for. So it's sort of easier to not disappoint people, I would say, when it comes to something like that. Anyway,
Agreed.
so it sort of depends on, like, I think a game like, I don't know, Back to the Future, which I know is rumored to come out too. I think people have expectations around that, and there's nothing you could do to avoid people having expectations around that. They want to see, there better be a DeLorean there. You can't have, you're not going to have Back to the Future without Marty McFly. If it's not like a Predator thing. You just can't have the game without that. So I think people are going to get
as soon as a game has expectations, it also has disappointment with it. It's unavoidable.
Right.
Those two come hand in hand.
So
which is why I think more.
What do you think, Jeff? On our last podcast,
Enzo, what's up, Enzo? Sorry,
Enzo. On our last podcast, we had Christopher Franchi on, and he said that he wishes more companies would just release it like they do a movie trailer. What's your thoughts on that, boys?
I saw that. Yeah, but then as soon as you plant that, then you plant the expectation seed. By dropping it all of a sudden, there's an immediate, okay, this is what we did with the game. So instead of people thinking what it should be, they are just playing the adventure that the people that designed it, the intention they had immediately. There's no time to build a kind of like idea of what you think something should be in your head over a year or 6 months or however long it should be. I think there's certain IPs that would benefit from it. Like if the concept's leaked and like some art came out or something, like we'll use Spooky as an example, right? Like there's like a very large implication that Goonies is going to be the next game based on those assets they found, right? So like instead of trying to make it a surprise, like build the hype, start the hype train,
Yeah, Serge, what do you think?
Well, I think a few things. One, with Goonies, there's a lot of expectations already. There's going to be a ship in there. There's going to be a chunk multi-ball or whatever. And I think there is, to Jeff's point, I think there is a way to start teasing that. You don't have to show the playfield, but you could just start giving they may not have license or ability to do this. That's another issue. But if you can start showing like, the clips on the display or the sounds of like a chunk multi-ball or maybe a chunk frenzy mode or something like that, then
hey you guys multi-ball.
Hey you guys multi-ball, and you just hear the call out. Yeah, I think that's going to get people really excited, and you could drop that. But pinball hasn't traditionally done that with build up releases. It's always like a certain way that it's done for all manufacturers. And then
which is crazy that it hasn't changed in like 40, 45, 50 years. Like the only thing that's really changed is like they used to put games on location to test them out. A lot of the sales went through, like operators, and now most of it is to home users. So I mean, like the business has changed, but like how do you successfully market a pin to show people that the best foot forward for it?
Right. And a question from chat, which is follow up from what you asked me earlier, Jeff, is just what about Munsters and other games? Asking me what code might be lacking. And yes, I would say Munsters is lacking, and I would also put Venom there too. And but what I would say is those are both fan layout games, and you can have a fan layout with great code. And we were talking to Ray Day tomorrow, who did Star Wars: Fall of the Empire, and that is great code on that game. So I think it is. I think like Munsters, which has a very good feeling, fast, flowy, two flipper fan layout game, could have had great code. It just doesn't to me. I could be very specific, as to why, which is to say, like, I think people expect in today's modern day and age, mostly expect a mode-based game, first of all. Like, and Venom and Munsters is not quite, and you could argue what the definition of mode is, but they're not, and it's hard to make a non-mode-based game great. The exception would be Metallica, but with Metallica, that had, like, built-in audience already, and people knew the game and loved the game. Like, you don't need it for Attack from Mars, really is not a mode-based game. And by mode, I mean you get into a scoop or a saucer or something happens and a 30-second timer comes on and it's a clip from the thing you care about.
Like a ladder game. Stacks of ladders all over it.
Yeah, that sort of thing. And so, I'd say like Tron and Metallica don't have modes in that sense, but they are beloved games for historical reasons, that way, and the code works for them. But generally, it's really hard to keep people entertained with a theme they love if you don't give them scenes through modes.
What do you prefer, boys? Do you prefer a Beetlejuice type of mode where it's random? Or do you prefer you have to hit a shot to get a mode? Or do you prefer picking a mode with your action button?
Am I able to share my screen here?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to do something to answer while you guys answer that question. I'm prepared even when I'm asked impromptu to come on.
This guy is he's the absolute greatest.
All right, I have the answer to that question here. So here is
pinball charts.
Here's a chart of all mode choices, of all mode type modes and how you choose them. So for example, does the game actually choose the mode for the player, or all the way up to, hey, you can actually choose your mode.
Right.
For completely. And there's all these. I won't kill you guys with the entire chart here, but what I will do is just, Cale, you can go to sleep if you'd like, and also Jamie too. But
I thought you were going to ask me to sing.
I'm here. I'm good to go.
No, you're right. But what I mean is, basically, I would say like this goes from least freedom to most freedom.
Right.
Random, like the game just chooses for you, versus like semi-random. You can hit switches, like in James Bond, pop bumpers change the mode.
It's such a pet peeve. I hate that.
Correct.
I hate that.
It is technically not totally random because you could change them, but you can't predict how it changes, because how many pops will move in the mode. So that's like semi-random. Semi-choice is that you could hit switches, but the switches are more purposeful. So for example, in John Wick, you choose one of the shots. Let's say you want the leftmost mode, you make the leftmost shot. If you want the rightmost mode, you make the rightmost shot, and then you hit the scoop. So that's like sort of semi-choice. Then you could choose via shot. That's like Star Wars, Fall of the Empire, or Stranger Things, or Jaws. As an example, Scars, you just hit that easy ramp and then you're in the Scars mode. Or Ghostbusters has that, mode ladder kind of thing. Choice via flipper is let's say Elvira, House of Horrors, the light moves on the building.
Yeah.
And it's also there in the new Transformers game in the same way. Where Lord of the Rings, actually, Jeff, that you have, right, is like this too. Where the flippers move the modes. And then finally, these are full freedom where the ball stops in a saucer, in a scoop, and then you choose what thing you want. And that's going to be a bunch of games too, like King Kong, Foo Fighters, what van mode do you want, that sort of thing. Maybe the last category, and then I'll shut up, is games without any modes.
This is fucking great.
Is this too much? Did I go too far?
No, I love it.
All right, so then games without modes are here's your games without modes, and these are all fun games. Like I love TNA, for as one example. Elton John's super fun. Tron is great. Metallica's great. I'm not into Venom and Munsters, but I like Iron Man too. So you can get away with games without a traditional mode too. But anyway, that's
all of those games focus their mode basically on like a super multi-ball or multi-balls that can be like stacked with each other.
That's exactly right. Right. That's the strategy. If you want to make a good game, like it's chaining multi-balls together, like more scoring based, it should play fast. If a game doesn't have a mode, it should play fast, I would say, because modes are like 30 seconds, sometimes 60 seconds, and they're good for longer playing multiple flipper type games.
You know what's the most heinous offense other than the random pops like changing modes? It's when a designer puts like a stand up that's like hidden in the middle of nowhere and it's the like change mode stand up. Like they couldn't think of anything else to put on that. And like Dune, I'm going to throw Dune under the bus here. Dune also has what I think is probably the worst mode selection as well. Many people don't know that you can select your mode in Dune. And it's either if you hit the left or right orbit, it is the switch. It changes the mode one direction one way or one direction the other, which who the hell is going to want to shoot an orbit and risk, draining over changing the mode instead of just shooting the scoop to start it?
That's why I have it over here. Here I have it as Dune. Switches will change the mode via purposeful choice. That sort of thing. And here's my from least freedom to most freedom.
I was wondering why there was a hammer and sickle.
But then also here's no choice whatsoever. That's North Korea, if you're wondering.
Wow. Awesome.
You get no modes and you'll like it. And you better like it.
So great.
I do like the TNA, and I'm going to take a screenshot of this because you have TNA and the North Korean flag right next to each other. I'm going to send that to Scott.
Well, let me fine, but let me wait. But it should.
No, it's okay. It's okay that it's just TNA and the North Korean flag.
I should at least explain it. No, I like TNA. I want to stress. I think it's a great game.
This is hilarious, boys. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. How much longer you want to go, Cale?
I don't know. I'm good for another couple minutes, whatever.
All right. We were going to invite the chat to come in. What do you think of that, boys? You want to stick around for that, or you want to?
I don't know. I didn't think we expected to have what we have going on.
What we have
here.
going on, yeah.
Let's stick with this.
We'll just stick with the four of us for another 10 minutes. How about that?
Yeah.
Franchi sent a good question. He wants to know what he Serge, what you think Lyman Sheets' is like Swan Song code is.
Lyman Sheets is just about the greatest coder ever. Of course, I still would make an argument that Elwin is a great rules designer too, that way. But what made Lyman so great, without being, I could be quite specific, but from a 20,000 foot view, is that was the first pinball coder that you could sense the art behind the code. I would say, a lot of people make movies and some people make films. And when you could watch like The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, which is like just in a sense, a dumb Western with a bad plot, but somehow it's operatic, because it's like Sergio Leone if you're into films. But what I would say is similarly, like he can make Medieval Madness and you sense the soul of Medieval Madness and the soul behind Attack from Mars. And so like you could really feel I believe pinball code can be art. It's not always, it's not on all games, but I think you can actually sense the art behind it. And like a sensitive soul, and you could with all Lyman games. More specifically, though, is what I would say. Batman 66 or Elvira. I would say Batman 66 over Elvira, even though I love both. Codes are great. No problem with. I don't have much bad to say about either one. But I would say, and how could I, right? But I would say what makes Batman 66, one of the things that makes it great is it has multiple mode trees. So when I say mode trees is you could play all the main villains. That's one mode tree. You have to hit their shots and then hit the phone. And you could play one of four main villains doing that. But separately, there's a completely different mode tree. It's not just that the game has lots of modes, but it has different areas to access modes. Yeah. So you can do a mode tree on the TV modes, and then you play all those mini villains. And Dune is like that too. You have the prophecy modes, but you also have harvester battles. They're two different sets of modes with two different feelings and two different ways to access them, one in day and one at night. But and I think generally games I like mode-based games. I still like non-mode-based games when they're done artfully, like Tron is and Metallic is, and those are great. But if you're going to do a mode-based game, I even tend to like them more when there's multiple mode trees. So it just gives you other things to do. Jurassic Park, there's T-Rex modes and control room modes. Yeah. And so I think so that's one thing that Lyman did well with several of his games, is that kind of giving the player those modes, giving them different places to start the modes. And I'll say another thing he did that was innovative. There's so many things he did that were innovative, but he was the sort of innovator behind let's call them side quests, things you do over the course of 3 balls, missions or side quests. Like in Walking Dead, there are modes, but at the same time you're killing zombies, you're killing walkers, and there's achievement for getting as many walkers as you can in the background. So anyway, that's my love for Lyman section.
It's hard to disagree with you, sir.
Did I say anything crazy?
No. I think Batman 66, it's one of the first games my friend John Spates lets me rotate his machines in my house that he doesn't have room for, and I'm gonna have a tough time giving this back, boys. You know, because I play it the TV mode way.
Mhm.
Okay, I could give a shit about the major villain. It's not really important. I kind of want to get through 2 of them so I can get an extra ball. All right, that's as quickly as I want to get through. And I don't know if you know, if you hold this flipper down, do you know this? If you hold the flipper down right before you launch and you let go and then hold it again, you can reduce the amount of jackpots that you can get for it takes to get the final jackpot for each.
What?
It's a very strange.
It's like a secret, huh?
It's a
I did not know
secret.
that.
Nobody really knows it.
Now, Ozabet hooked us up. Thank
What'd
you
he
so
do?
much. Thank
He's
you.
like
so,
raining gift memberships.
20 gift memberships.
Oh my gosh,
Oh my God! See, we can't tell that, ladies and gentlemen.
we gotta
On-
pay attention.
We can't see it on Riverside, Serge. And Cale and I said that in the beginning of the particular podcast that we can't see any super chats, we can't see any gifts. I'm so sorry.
You know what you got to do,
That's
Jamie?
why.
It's
That's
called,
why I mentioned it.
Look, you take out your phone and you just look at it.
Yeah.
You just look at it, dude. Aussie is like the
Thank you, Aussie.
superhero fan. Like he's on
He's the
all
best.
the channels. He's supporting all the influencers. I mean, like he's just a rock star when it comes to supporting pinball content.
He really is, and one of the nicest guys. I got to meet him. Did you get to meet him, Jeff? At
I did
at
a few
TPF?
times.
Yeah.
TPF, and he was at Stern Media Day too.
So how was Stern Media Day?
It was good. It was good. First and foremost, like I don't think there's enough discussion talking about how Elizabeth Gieske is like the first lead programmer that is a female in like the history of pinball. Like,
Yeah.
the fact that that's not more center stage for CERN is like kind of mind blowing. But they didn't do they normally like they have like they stand in front of the game and do like a presentation like firing squad style. Like they didn't really do that. They did the
Okay, so they
distributor video.
Okay, all right, that's a little different.
Yeah, which I was bummed out about. Like that should have been, that's like part of the experience. It's like forcing them to give this awkward presentation in front of their game and talk about everything.
Do you think they were just?
So-
Do you think they were just nervous because maybe Elizabeth and what's his name are a little shyer?
Eisman? Elliot?
Yeah.
She's not. Yeah, Eisman
Yeah,
seemed
she's
like a
not.
lot
I was
more
about to say.
reclusive. Yeah.
Okay.
Giesche's like she was up and immediately up next to the game when people are playing, telling them what to do and like what to shoot at and answering questions. So
Jeff,
I think it
okay.
was just they forgot about it, to be honest.
Jeff, did you ask him why the return right in lane guide rail looks like a can opener?
I did not. But
I
I
think it
would
looks
guess
cool.
that
But why?
yeah, it does very much look different. Well, it has that like lip, right? So it can dump off, right? It seems like there's like both the way to feed the in lane and also it could like kind of fall off into the regular play field that way. The gun points down the middle, apparently. I didn't see that because it can feed the upper right flipper and like kind of dribble the ball out in addition to launching it like on the ramp, which is neat. But yeah, I don't know. Media Day was great. It was Media Day.
Hey,
Bunch of people
Jeff,
raiding
so
Stern.
when you played it, did the what's up, Sid? When you played it, did the cannon only launch it to that like little metal platform, or did it launch it to other places?
No, it feeds the upper right flipper as well. So like it aims up and
okay.
shoots it over the thing, and then
So
it
that's
also kind of
already-
points down and dribbles it out.
That's already in the code.
So far in the code,
Yeah.
my understanding, Jeff, is that when it fires the cannon by making the right ramp shot, which is a hard to hit right ramp from what I saw on the stream, that you hit the right ramp shot, it feeds the cannon fires it to the left towards the left in lane through that kind of catcher's mitt plate. Then
That's correct.
If you happened, when it's coming back through the lower left flipper, if you happen to hit that right ramp again to refeed the cannon, that's when it will shoot towards the upper flipper.
Interesting. Okay. I didn't know what triggered it, but I did successfully get it to feed the upper right flipper. And someone else that was at Media Day said that it also shoots straight down the middle towards the right flipper, like the lower right flipper. Not like straight down the middle, but like, you know. So I think there's 3 locations that it can currently feed. And by that same logic, if it can do those 3, then it could probably do a lot more if they wanted to expand on it in code.
Yeah, I mean, I think a cannon fire, anytime a cannon fires in pinball, a ball across the playfield, it's a big deal. That's what I said.
And it's coming at you, not
Yeah.
like away, right?
Right.
Like how many games, like what, Houdini shoots it away from you, right? But how many games shoot it like physically at you?
Very few. I know Final Resistance from P3 can do that. and not many actually shoot it at you. There's games that shoot it up. Chat, what are the games that shoot it up the middle versus games that shoot it side to side versus games that shoot it at you?
Right.
I know some answers here, but I'll let chat do the rest in the meantime.
The Pokemon homebrew shoots it side to side.
You're right. Out of
Shout out to
Psyduck.
Luke Underwood.
Oh, that one. I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about Pokemon Premium, which like shoots it out of this like little. It's not canon though.
No. The Pokemon homebrew that they had at.
Yeah.
I like that cannon. I don't. What type of example? Give me an
D&D is
example.
another one. D&D Dragon shoots it at you. That's another example. Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Rocket shot. That's a kicker. I'd say I don't consider that a cannon. It's not so different. Rocket on like Guardians. It's not so different from Harry Potter in the Death Eater shot that kicks it at you. But I'm talking
Or
like a
Iron
cannon.
Man, isn't the Whiplash
Iron
kind of the
Man.
same thing with that? Yeah.
Right, War Machine, kicker, and it kicks it at you. Like that's fine too, but it's not the same thing. I'm saying like the cannon, we're like centimeters above or inches above the playfield, and a ball is shooting.
Boys, we reached 100 people.
Oh,
Amazing.
That's all
Isn't
of the pinball community.
There you
We're all
go.
here. We're all
We're
here.
all
now.
here. We're the entire pimple of this niche that we are. We're all here. Final Resistance.
Yes,
Yeah.
Final Resistance.
At 14, does that
Kicker.
count? I guess.
They're talking about the Jaeger shot.
Yeah, that's kickers.
And that's a kicker, and that's great. But that is the first, in a certain sense of how you define it, ball save in pinball. If it shoots it out and you lose the ball right away, you get flight insurance and it brings the ball back. Back then, they didn't have ball save at the beginning of balls, but that was the first time they implemented ball save in a game.
I feel like the rule needs to be it's airborne. An airborne ball that's being
it has
shot
to
at
be an
you.
airborne ball, I would say. Farthest distance, though, might be
Houdini.
Yeah, I'd have
Yeah,
to say
no
Houdini.
doubt.
That wins.
Houdini's pretty awesome. That's a nice moment.
Yeah, if you could say backbox, that's another, if you want to use backbox shooting. But I'm talking playfield cannons.
Okay.
T3, Circus Voltaire,
I
that's
mean, yeah.
backbox stuff.
Next Generation, it's not at you, but
Next Generation counts.
T2.
Right.
Yeah.
mm-hmm. NBA Fast Break.
NBA Fast Break on the back glass. Yeah, that's true. Cool. Big Guns.
Quiz show.
JJP Pirates.
Uh,
I don't know if we said that. Mhm.
Jamie, did you put this thing in the show notes about the Ron Jeremy pinball machine?
I did.
Cale, that wasn't
I
that
did.
your
Does that
homework?
cannon shoot something at you?
I'm looking
Oh,
at
boy.
that right now, but I don't have a picture of it. Do
Yeah,
you
Is
have a
that,
picture?
is that a real thing?
Yeah. So, okay.
Zingy Bingy 2.0.
Oh,
we have
boy.
pinball.
That's in our art episode that we're planning to do with Chris Franchi.
So
Zingy
Great
Bingy.
American Pinball had game
dear God.
titles that they had as Dream Theme List, and Ron Jeremy's Land of Magic was in that list. Did you
That's
see this?
I'd call that a bad idea.
Wow.
I'm going to go out and say that's a bad idea.
Do you know?
I mean, what are they thinking? That's disgusting.
Before he went to prison, he used to call me every once in a while.
Is that
Ron
true?
Jeremy did?
Yeah. He was very close to a high school friend of mine. And she's known Ron Jeremy for years and years and years. And
Oh my
whenever we were
God.
hanging out, he would call and like play piano for us. He's a wild dude. But he's locked up now. He did some bad stuff. But that's
right.
you can't. How can you have that as a pinball machine? Like this dude's locked up for doing like terrible things.
It was Great
It's
American.
not a good idea.
I think it was a bad idea before he was locked up, I would have said.
Yeah. But they put it in a post. Great American Pinball had a list of interesting game titles, and the last one was Ron Jeremy's Land of Magic. And me and Cale were
So
chatting,
weird.
and we're like, "What are these people doing? Did AI write this and it slipped through the cracks? I mean, it's just ridiculous. What are we doing?
You know who would design that game, right?
Oh no,
John Trudeau.
John Trudeau.
Yeah, he's
I
out.
thought you were going to say that.
He's out.
Oh,
The
let's
juice
talk
is
about
loose.
let's talk about that. He's out of prison.
Okay.
We know he makes great games. Can you make a game with him? I mean, how long does somebody have to be locked up? Like
Can you separate the art from the artist, Cale? Is
yeah,
that
there
what you're
we go.
asking?
There we go.
I mean, it's the same thing with like films and actors, right? Like
know what?
you
That
can watch a
Michael
Kevin
movie is
Spacey
pretty
film,
good.
right?
That Mikey
depends.
movie
You
is
know,
good.
a buddy of mine just shot a film with him. It's like Kevin Spacey's Return.
Oh.
He shot it out here in Arizona.
I think it depends on three things. I think it depends on the severity of the crime, how good the pinball designer is, and how recent the situation was.
Wait,
It's a
so-
timeline thing.
So if you're a really good pinball designer, you can get over a certain amount of heinous crime. So what's the line?
I think the answer.
Serge?
I'm not saying that's what I believe. I'm saying that's what sales
Okay.
believes. That's what I'm not saying
Yeah.
that's right or wrong. I'm not condoning that, Jeff. I'm
Yeah.
just
I mean, I
saying-
feel like if Haggis pinball was still around, they would
saying-
pick up John Trudeau, right? Like,
I'm saying Trudeau is not as good as a designer as Elwin is what I'm trying to say. I'm saying that.
No one's gonna touch this dude. No one's.
Yeah, and I don't think it's there, right?
No. There you go. All right. The other thing I wanted to talk about with you guys is sound. Okay. And I'm not crapping on the loser kids, Cale. I'm not.
Oh, okay.
Oh wow,
Okay.
already a hot take here.
I'm not. I love the loser kids. Love them.
hmm
But Stern, we sent you a microphone, right? We did. The round table sent you a
I'm
microphone.
glad Jeff's here because we're gonna have a professional give his opinion on it. Okay.
Jeff, here's the deal, right? You're out
hit me.
there,
Hit me.
and the loser kids they get the first podcast. Okay, they interview and they do a really good job, and they get us excited for this launch, right? Elizabeth and Elliot sound like they're in a phone booth.
Yeah, they were using
Yeah,
a like
it's not
laptop
good.
microphone.
And they're sitting like 15 feet away from it so they can both be on camera. You know, I mean, like how distance to the microphone is like everything for low quality mics.
But we sent
yeah, it
them
sucks.
this. We sent this to them.
Yeah.
Like Ralph spent money and sent it. to
He
them.
sent them a very expensive Shure microphone.
Okay.
It takes, if it's USB, it takes a whole 15 seconds to plug it into your computer, make it the default mic, and then whatever Zoom or whatever recording platform you're using, use it. It shows a like lack and kind of like unpreparedness for the actual interview. And if you know that you're doing an interview even a full day beforehand, I just don't think there's an excuse. Like it's 2020, what year is it? I don't know. Anyway,
2026.
whatever year it is,
Right.
this is the time that it should not be difficult to have good sound for an interview.
Also, you can get a just fine USB microphone for like 30 or 40 bucks.
Totally.
And also, don't they have Jack Danger working there?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, or maybe I don't know. I'm sorry, I don't know
Wh-
what he does.
So
whether he
you
works
know
there.
what?
I'm sorry, I don't
Chat
wanna
just
imply
said the
anything.
same thing. Okay,
Yeah,
look
it's a
what
smart chat.
Cascade said. Okay, Jack is a
Yes.
friend, streamed for many
Yeah.
years. How do you not use him to set up a good environment for interviews? I don't know. I mean, come on. So I'm not ragging on anybody. We're getting towards the end of the night. Okay, I'm, all
I've had a few Diet Cokes,
had a few
started my
DCs.
loose lips.
and it just like we have a group chat, me and Cale and Ralph, and we're like, what's going on? What are we doing?
Yeah, it
Yeah,
does. it
here's
does-
here's what I would say.
Yeah, go ahead.
Stern they have tons of rooms there. Put a room in there that has the mic already plugged in with the shittiest little laptop you could possibly set up and just have it ready to go. And it's like, it's the interview room, right? And if people are from home, it's on them to make sure that they do it right. But if you're going into Stern to do an interview, just have it set up so no one has to think about it. You just plug and play.
Yeah, what really blows my mind is these guys are not making pinball machines in a garage. This is a big, serious company, and when they do their sizzle reels for the games, it's not, they don't just do it with an iPhone and no microphone. They like George Gomez like combs his hair and takes a shower and puts a little lapel mic on.
I didn't take a shower for this
but, like,
call.
Me
But
neither.
but
I
every-
smell horrible, to be honest.
Yeah, but
Like,
every
it's
time,
disgusting.
Every time you do an interview with anybody from Stern, it's like it's just not computing with them that's a big deal. But like, man, you're promoting this game that you need to sell. You need to push this thing. You need to tell us how awesome it is, and we want to be able to hear you.
Thousands of people are going to watch that,
Mhm.
and 1,000 people in the back of their mind, at least 500 are going, God, they sound like shit.
Yeah, there are definitely people watching it that if it's like an exciting interview where they're talking up the game and they seem really passionate about it, that will turn into sales.
It makes your product seem more premium. If like the presentation is nice, then you immediately, like, lizard brain style, think that you're getting a nicer thing. So, for 15 minutes worth of effort and $50 worth of microphone, I feel like I would just like to be able to hear it better, to be honest. Like, I remember, there's been a few Elwin interviews where it's just like, you're talking to Charlie Brown's mom or something,
His are always like that. Yeah.
He just, and I feel so bad for Josh and Scott, right? Because they're just like,
Yeah, what do you do? Like
What do you-
when we interviewed Gomez, Ralph actually bought a microphone and a headphones,
headset.
and he used it. Yeah.
All right. Anyway, that was my "What are we doing here?" segment of the JBS show. Okay.
Thank you, Jamie.
It drives me
That was-
crazy, Cale.
that was
It's a
worth it.
public service announcement, really. It's a public service announcement.
Grateful Dead pinball.
Okay.
That's what Knapp is saying. Somebody, and I'm watching Jeff's face right now.
I just burped.
Some
That's all.
company is making a Grateful Dead pinball, apparently. Pinball machine.
I told you, our next game's Raven 2000. I told you that already.
I'm on an LE.
On the
Are there
Grateful Dead?
any Dead fans here?
No, I meant for Raven.
Raven.
Right.
Any-
Oh yeah. He had the no Grateful Dead.
I guess you'd have like a dancing bear roto target, maybe. Just trying to think what I'd do
Yes.
for like Grateful Dead.
Wow.
Every
it
bear
changes-
could be a different mode, right? Like each color for the bears.
Oh, very good.
The topper should totally be tie-dye going to the ceiling.
A lava lamp.
A lava lamp, something. Okay. And it comes with you can only sell them in Arizona and California and states that have legalized marijuana.
Yes, and just like the band, the balls last forever.
Yeah.
Tie-dye, that's
It's
right.
easy.
It's
very
20-minute ball
15-minute modes.
20-minute ball save multi-ball.
Yeah.
You gotta have a spinning wheel. That's the tie-dye too in the center of the playfield, the like spinning wheel of color, right? Like spinning disc.
Okay.
You take the dancer girl from Elton John, and you switch it with like a skeleton marionette. That dancing
Oh.
toy that they use or whatever. I'm just throwing out some ideas here.
Yeah, I like it.
Casey Jones.
Do the lamp from Totan, right? Like for the spinning
Hard
color
top.
disc, but make
Yes.
it like the size of the playfield.
Absolutely.
Just like the biggest spinning disc
And-
possible.
And you have to have like the parking lot vegan burrito on there somewhere.
I lost
Food
you
truck
on the
multi-ball.
Food truck.
Yeah.
We tried meat, guys. It doesn't sell. Okay, no one's really into food multi-balls and
No, that's
meat
not gonna work.
multi-balls.
There's Diner. That's my last food-based game that I
Diner?
would consider. Right there, I know there was Barrios, but I don't
Yeah,
think we
come
needed
on.
one after Diner.
We didn't need it. It was
Right.
unnecessary.
You wouldn't play like Eat a Sandwich, the pinball machine.
I'd eat a sandwich, just not the pinball machine.
My funniest thing from American Pinball, the old American Pinball, not the new American Pinball, but the old American Pinball, that was that David Fix was telling his salespeople to call barbecue joints and get these pinball machines in there.
Oh God, what were they thinking?
It's the irony is like it's a bad idea for any restaurant. Obviously, like they're not going to do it. It's too expensive. It doesn't work for mom and pop restaurants. Obviously, it's a bad idea. But it's in particular a bad idea for barbecue joints with the dirtiest, greasiest fingers.
Like,
People coming in. It's
Imagine
bad
the
always, but
buttons
it's
on the
especially
side
bad.
of that game. Like, like
Nobody
Ace
told them.
Gogi, like in LA, like, it's a Korean barbecue place, and that's where the pinball machines are. And like, I bet if you bought a game from Shane, that your house would smell like barbecue for the rest of your life. Like you're never getting rid of that smell.
It's a
Jeff, I'm
wonder
gonna-
why they got bought.
Right?
Jeff, I'm going to be there in July. We should go to Ace Gogi together.
Let's do it. Yeah, we talked about it. Because it's on, man. We're gonna do the pinball tour.
Let's do it.
Can I make you stream with me here?
I think so. I'm down.
Nice.
All right,
What game do you
I-
want to play? You got to let me know so I put it under the rig.
I'll still never have played Winchester. Do you have that? They're ready to
I
go.
don't have my Winchester yet.
Then
No,
Dune.
we're still like, people are so ornery about getting their Winchesters that Carl and I are like, don't you dare send us one, because if
Right.
you do, like,
People will hate you.
oh, pitchforks are coming out.
What else
But
do we got?
Ace has
boys?
one.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
What else do we got, Cale? Anything else? Any more information you dropped? let's see. What did you drop today? Oh, you dropped Dracula, possibly, thinking that maybe we hunt Dracula. You guys missed that earlier.
Yeah, like a Van Helsing Gothic style.
Yeah.
There's 2 Draculas out. What rumor is this?
There's Stern Dracula Classic, in the 80s, and then there's Bram
Right.
Stoker's in the 90s. But this
Amazing
is a
game.
Brian Eddy rumored title coming out. Maybe is it next year?
Yeah, it'll be the first game of next year.
I think that could work, except for 750 LEs, or whatever. Like you don't need an
Well,
unlicensed. Who's buying the unlicensed theme?
before you guys came on, that's what I was talking about. Like that's a really hard sell to non-pinball people.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it
But-
is.
But
But
what's cool, I mean, if they can pull off what they want to do, it's gonna have like RPG elements, set in like 1800s
This is Dwight
Victorian.
Code, isn't it? It's
Yeah,
already
so
Dwight Code. I can
It'll
tell.
be Dwight, and you
The
go to
theme is
different
Dwight,
areas
yeah.
like Romania and London, and you'll have multiple playable characters. It'll be almost like a Jack the Ripper style murder mystery.
You look like you're reading notes for this. I mean, that sounds awesome. My biggest disappointment with D&D was that the layout, So if they are making a horror themed Dracula game, like it'd
What
be cool
bothers
if it
you
was
most
like
about it, Jeff?
D&D.
Is it the lower scoop that then shoots it to the other upper flipper?
Yeah, my biggest issue with
that's his
D&D
biggest
is that
problem.
the entire flow of the game is that everything is about getting it to that upper right flipper, and it's just an uninspired area of the playfield. Like you shoot the left orbit, it goes to the upper right flipper. You shoot the Physma shot, it goes to the upper right flipper. You shoot the
There's an
center
inner
shot,
loop.
then you get it back
Yeah,
at the bottom
back
to get back up there. There's the inner right upper. Yeah, it's a layout issue that I have with D&D, not a code thing.
Yeah, my opinion on the Canada thing there, shout out to Canada, no shade whatsoever, is that actually other podcasters get this information, but he's the only one willing to talk about it or talk about it first. That's my opinion. You guys could disagree or agree with that. if
I
you want.
don't disagree with you.
Did I say something terrible?
No,
No.
I don't think he's the
Not
only
at
one
all.
who knows it. I just think he's the only one who's happy to say it. That's who he is. I'm not saying that's bad or good, but that's who he is, and other people won't do that.
Wild man.
He's asleep.
What-
We could
what's
have
the
gotten him on
question?
tonight.
Do we have a question?
Well, the question was, what about these leaks? Are they all from Canada?
Oh no.
No.
I mean, I think like you said.
he actually doesn't get any anymore. I mean, he has a unpopulated playfield shot from Sonic, and he has photos of like a early Back to the Future, but he doesn't get information like he used to.
I wonder why.
I don't know.
I could think of a handful of reasons.
All right, boys. I think that's about it, right? That was a fun little hour and 50 minutes.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Unless you want to go 13 more minutes. You want to go 13 more minutes to make
What-
it a
what does
solid
the
2
chat
hours?
say?
13 more minutes for you. Well, if we're going 13 minutes, Jeff, I want to ask you. So you played the new Transformers, right?
Yes.
One question I had is because you were just talking about how you have to feed the upper flipper, and Transformers also has this upper flipper, and it has like an upper flipper shot that's not a loop, but instead it's a ramp. How many times did he go for that shot? How many times did he make that shot?
Which one? The ramp shot on the left?
The side ramp. So you're on
The
the,
side,
upper flipper.
both.
Side ramp that can only be
The
hit from
side.
the upper flipper.
There's that one's not as difficult as there's like a like dead end like saucer shot that's right below
Got
it.
it, where the
That's
post
the
comes
extra
up.
ball shot, and it is hard. It's so freaking hard to hit that, and yeah, it's pretty much just like on Shadow. Like you got to catch it way off the end of the flipper, and just for me. But again, like I put maybe 5-6 games on it, so I'm like not a really good metric for it. The ramps on the left are further back on the playfield. They're not like way up in your face like Shadow. I think the playfield plays a lot like Jurassic Park. I was calling it kind of like Jurassic Park Light because you've got your spinner in the center. You've got you bang Optimus's dong is kind of like hitting the T-Rex shot. Right, you've got your ramp on the right, you've got your right orbit, which is kind of like the O shot. That whole cluster on the left has got it's essentially like shooting the ramp there is very much like feeding the Raptor pit. It's got the even further left to that is the control room, but instead of it being a dead end, it like feeds the ramp and then feeds the right flipper. But in terms of layout, there's a lot of stuff in familiar places, but it flows just a little bit better in my opinion. Like my Jurassic Park has always like been a little bit like brutal and mean. And this game played a lot easier than that. So I don't know if that answers your question.
No, it does. That's helpful.
Yeah,
Actually,
I can't wait.
really
I'm
excited to play it.
It's
I'm
it's so
excited.
fun. Like when I went there and played Fall of the Empire, like I was just like, I didn't really want to talk about it. Like I don't like fan layouts. I was having
you
clunky
didn't
shots
get it,
left and
you
right.
know, when Stern puts that camera in front of your
No,
face,
they
you didn't
put
just-
the camera on me. I was just like, I'm good, thanks.
Yeah.
Dude, I
But-
love. I remember what you were saying about Star Wars. It is really refreshing to get. You're really honest.
I try to be very honest,
Yeah.
but back it up with like reasoning. Like I talked about how the Death Star was rejecting, and people on Facebook were like, "You don't know what you're talking about," blah blah blah, and like it was a problem. It was a real issue.
You know what's funny? People from Stern told me about that. They were like, yeah, and then Jeff realized what was going on because I don't think you were here for this. This will probably make more sense. The layout of it. Originally, that Death Star ramp was not there.
Interesting.
It was the Death Star was at the playfield level, and it was a scoop, and it was very easy to hit, and you could even backhand it.
So
But
they
at-
wanted to make it more difficult.
Well,
No, I think
at-
they just probably wanted to make it more theme immersive, right? Death
yeah,
Star
at the-
higher up.
At the last minute, somebody involved was like, "I don't like the Death Star here because it looks like it had crashed, so you need to raise it up." And so it was like a last minute thing. That's why it seems like that's the one disjointed thing in the whole game.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they fixed it. They said there were 3 different things that were causing the rejections on it. And a person at Stern I talked to ran through them. And then, they redid the mech and released it. And I mean, we have one at Ace and it's a lot easier to hit. I haven't seen any issues on it now. And plus,
Yeah,
Ray
but
Day
you
like
can't
absolutely
hit it.
smashed that code out of the park. It's
they're
so fun
interviewing
now.
Ray Day tomorrow, and
Nice.
Is that going to be live?
Yeah, we're doing
Yeah.
it live.
Yeah.
Tomorrow we're doing a deep dive of full Fall of the Empire code, and it is like a real deep dive. So let's hope Ray Day is up for it.
That's good.
because
I need that. They've added so much shit to it. I don't even know what I'm doing on there anymore.
It is awesome.
It's one of the greatest coded Stern games.
Yeah.
That's what I would say.
Mm-hmm.
But it's so hard to get to these modes.
That is also true.
Okay.
Well,
Because it's going back and forth, going bananas, and I don't know. It's a great. I call it a warm up game when I'm playing in a tournament, gents. Because if I could put up 400 million on that game while I'm warming up, hitting balls on the range, then I know I'm gonna in for a good night. Okay. If I'm shanking all night, then I know I'm in for a tough night.
I have. I don't know if this is another. Are you guys ready for another chart? Is it too many charts, Jamie?
Is it
No,
just a chart
no,
time?
we
Let's
have.
go. Let's see
The
it.
chat
Chat,
wants
is it too many-
The
do
chat
we-
wants
how
a
How many
marathon.
charts do you have? Do you have just like all these charts ready to go? Like a bag of charts?
That's what they called me in college. Serge bag of charts.
Nice.
Um,
Checks
no,
out.
I'm a data guy. I like analyzing things, and so if I think of something interesting to do a chart on, so help me, I will do that.
Share away, brother.
So I was going to do this already. Show this to Ray Day tomorrow, but I'll do a little spoiler on that point here.
And what time are you going live tomorrow?
We are going live at 10:15 p.m. Eastern. Sorry, I
Okay.
haven't showed this. Whatever.
That's
that
really
means.
specific.
Yes, that is specific, but that is it's 10:15 p.m. Eastern or thereabouts. That's what I would say. So I was trying to show this. Just focus on this. This is showing
Interesting.
a 4-player game. These are all times at the Electric Bat on Stern games that have them measurements of them in the audit. And so what this is saying is that fan layouts, like all of these are fan layouts, 2 flipper games, arranged shots in a fan, all have generally an average 4-player game time far less than non-fan layouts. If you add an upper flipper, if you add more shots, King Kong, for example, has these 2 upper flippers, and there's a whole mode there, Crossing the Chasm, where you can keep the ball, if you're good enough, on 2 upper flippers, on
Yes.
the top half of the playfield. And so generally speaking, fan layouts will always have shorter ball times than non-fan layouts. And Star Wars in particular had, on a 4-player game, even less than John Wick. So it's a tough layout. I was just going to back up your point, Jamie, with this chart I presented.
Brilliant. I love data.
I thought John Wilk would have a 4-minute average time.
Well,
I'm shocked that it's in the 20s.
Let me actually follow that up. So this data, this data was from this is our first or second episode ever, of
Yeah.
Cale and I's show, our Pin Pal show. Since then, in preparation for tomorrow, I've got more recent data, thanks to John Schoppel, our local excellent on-the-scene reporter for Pin Pals at the Electrobat. And so here's the more recent data.
Oh my God! Look at this.
Whoa!
And I'm getting better with my presentation too. So the fan layouts, now we have many more. We have 12 fan layouts here at the bat, 12 non-fan layouts at the bat. And again, this is for single game. So a single average game time for one player game. And it's like 22 seconds longer on non-fan layouts. And then specifically what you were asking there, Jeff, for John Wick, where the heck is that? 3 minutes and 28 seconds is the typical one-player average game time.
That sounds about right.
And Black Knight Sword of Rage makes total sense because you
That
guys
does make total sense.
You
To be
have
clear,
the
that's a
pro
pro.
there.
Right.
You have, but that plays so much quicker.
You could probably put TNA on there and it'd be double digits.
Oh yeah.
Fuck you, Scott.
Yeah, I mean,
One thing I found interesting though here is, pros of Stern usually play faster, but there's one game that at the Electric Bat Cale and Rachel have that's both the pro and the premium, and that's Pokemon. And so they have the premium and the pro, and the premium has slightly faster game times, but statistically relevant so, has faster game times than the pro. It's one of the only premiums that might be faster than a pro, and I think that's because the premium has the magnet that shoots it away from the center
yes,
playfield, and
that
the pro
makes
does not.
sense. That makes sense. That makes total sense. Because I was going to argue that the premium's a little bit easier because you could backhand to capture your Pokemon.
Yeah, anything
But
else
you're
you
right,
guys?
the magnet.
The magnet. It's the magnet. Yeah, there is that catch, but the magnet just flings it more crazily. Cale, do you notice any difference on the premium versus the pro, having them both there at the bat
For what, ball times?
for ball times or otherwise?
I haven't paid attention to it, but I will tell you, we got more games on the way. We have to get rid of one of the Pokemon
You're gonna have to get
games.
one of the Pokemon, right?
Which one do I keep?
I mean, I don't think that from an operator's perspective, pro or premium matters on that game. Personally, especially because they both have the sculpts.
Yeah, but
So
we already have the premium. That's the one I want to keep.
well, then why are you asking?
Well, I just want your
Because he's
opinion.
curious.
I want your opinion.
Which one's collecting more quarters?
I was trying to
right?
save
When
you
you
some
do your
money.
reports.
Do they both have the same amount of quarter drop, Cale, on
Yeah,
a
do they perform the
daily
same or not?
basis? Because I know you got them at different times.
The premium earns more.
Interesting. That's a bit surprising, actually. I mean, I know it has more in it, but I didn't know players even register that they're so different. Could that be it's in a different positioning at the bat?
Well, they're both on end caps,
Yeah, that's true. They're both on caps.
but they're in separate rooms. We
Look
had
at
to put
this
them.
data.
We had to put them in separate rooms because people during tournaments would get confused.
Yeah, that makes sense too. All right, should I stop sharing my charts?
Yeah.
I will say one
chart.
other thing with the media day, they talked about performance for their games, and Pokemon is like outselling everything by like a mile. It's the fastest launch, and most units sold than any Stern game in the history of whatever modern Stern. So I mean,
That's
they're
insane.
tactical.
I know there are people still waiting for their Pokemon games, so I'm guessing they built all they're going to build, and then they have to obviously go into Transformers. I would imagine that's why people are waiting, right?
They had a sheet talking about what's on the line for the rest of the year. I forget. It's it's Jaws, Godzilla. I mean, it's all the stuff that you would imagine would be there. But, they mentioned, they listen to the market. So the more the distributors get told what games they want, then they change what they're going to be putting on the line for further down the line.
Do you guys think, I know that the real reason the code gets delayed is licensor approval, but do you think that the game selling so well puts more of a fire for them to get to the code, or less of a fire because the game's already selling well?
Less. Right? There's no sense of urgency here. The sense of urgency is for Cale because eventually people are going to, they've seen the game, they've done it.
No, there's definitely a sense of urgency with the folks at Stern because there are two. This is all you hear about with this game is where the hell's the code?
Right.
If the they they can bring in some code to build the hype back up. I mean, the sticking point is that the Pokedex, where I don't think they're going to let them do that.
Yeah, we talked about that earlier, gents. Cale and I were here, and it was confirmed in chat that they're probably going to drop the name Pokedex, right, Cale?
Yeah, because they can't use that name.
Yeah.
What about like
'cause I
furry
think-
animal collection mechanism?
Yeah. Because I would think
Fack 'em?
Yeah.
You got to fack 'em?
You heard what I said, Jeff.
the Pokemon Company, once you put elements of the Pokemon world onto a separate device, that's basically like you're doing a video game. And they only did the license for, like, you guys make a pinball machine. So that's the sticking point right now.
lot
The
of
code
people-
release stuff, I think, is person dependent. Because Ray Day, I think, Mr. Charts, Serge, I bet you should do a chart for how long it takes a game to get code complete based on individual like programmers. And I bet, because Ray Day is like a machine. Like there are more code updates coming out for Fall of the Empire. For what the hell was this? The music band Metallica.
Rush?
I mean, like he put in
yeah,
Rush. I
Metallica,
mean, like the release schedule for him specifically seems to be higher. So I think it's down to the individual programmer.
Well, first of all, let me answer to say that I will make that chart, Jeff. I appreciate that suggestion, and I don't have it ready
Sweet.
yet. That would have been too hard to do while you were talking, but I will get that because I think that's a good one. And I know that they would say, and maybe this is the majority of the truth, that any delays are because of licensor approvals. But I also think there's something to what you're saying, Jeff, which is, and this is, I would never ask Ray Day this because I don't want to put him in any uncomfortable position, but I'd say that it goes back to something I said earlier. When you have some coders who are really passionate about what they're doing, and I think there are differing levels of passion about in all life, in all jobs, of what people do. And I think you see somebody like Elizabeth Gieske or Ray Day, or I'd say Elwin, who I know is not the programmer, but he is a rules designer. And those games generally, like Elwin games, come pretty far along once they're launched. And those can be some big properties too. That's my experience.
Yeah.
Ray Day is also, sorry, Cale. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, to answer Joe in the chat, Joe Cheravino, from what I understand, it's the fact that the Pokedex is on a separate device, which is considered, they would consider that like a separate game, and that's like the sticking point. And then somebody who apparently had some knowledge earlier that was in the chat said that was the case. What they were naming the thing that was, you could view all of your Pokemon on.
There you go.
I'm already writing the prompt, Jeff, by the way. Because I'll
What
tell
are
you
you
how
in
I do it.
Claude? Are you in Claude?
I'm in all of them, but I'll tell you how I do it is because on Stern's website they have their in their game code section they have every update and the date that the update was launched, and so you can track that over time, and then with correlating with launch dates, and you could get a very specific answer, not hard to get. So chart to be.
I'm looking forward to this
coming
chart.
up.
Oh man, tomorrow night, ladies.
I
and
won't do it.
gentlemen.
I was going to say that, we do deep dives on our show, and I'm usually like, I'll tell you whether I like the code, things I don't like the code, but with Ray Day coming on, I would only invite him on and to talk through the code. It's because the code is great. If I was going to say like, I really hate this thing you did or whatever, I wouldn't even ask him, to come on, and I would just talk about the code separately with Cale. But I think the job he did with this code is just so good on Star Wars that I really only have nice things to say about it. The code.
I'll also suggest that I think that the releases for the code updates are probably programmer dependent, right? Like I think some people like to have really big updates that have a lot of specific things in them, and other want to have like really short updates that add immediate fun to the game. I think Ray Day added a lot of like really incremental stuff as opposed to some of the updates for like, I don't know, D&D had like, artifacts and all this like just huge shit in it. So
It's interesting that some of them are launched differently. Like, the remaster of Walking Dead was launched with very little code, really the same
did they
game.
update that yet or no?
Yeah, it's updated. Much better. much more achievements. It's definitely
Did
become
they
a
make
better
the
game.
change? Do you happen to know? I actually didn't follow up. Did they make the changes that they were talking about? They were going to add mini wizard modes along, walker kills, stuff like that. You probably don't know that level, but
Yeah, I haven't gotten that well yet. Okay,
Mhm.
I'm just still trying to bust ass on Bloodbath every time I
Okay,
play
fine.
it. So
I
uh,
think that they could have done better on sales. I mean, I don't think a lot of people who buy sales are like, how deep is the code? I don't think that's the case. But I think with Walking Dead specifically, it's like a game that's known in the community. So I think coming out and saying, here's what we have, and it would have been if it were ready, I think it would have made a big difference. I know they can't always get things ready on time and for lots of reasons, but fair. Thank you so much, Buck, to let us know that. Like,
he is the operator at Eureka Heights. He says it's not
Okay.
really updated enough yet. So
Well, I
But I mean, the
mean,
game was already 1.0 because it's a remaster, right? Ish.
yeah.
Yes and no. When the game came
no.
out, the code was actually worse than the original Walking Dead. It wasn't better. It wasn't the same, but it was actually worse.
Interesting.
So there were things that it would freeze up on. It wouldn't show you in the game if you got to this thing or that thing, and it would say pending license or pending approval or whatever.
Yeah.
And that didn't do that in the 2014 Walking Dead. So it was
Right.
actually in some ways worse, I would say.
Yeah, and George, I think it was, I can't remember who, somebody told us that the issue with that, they thought, hey, we've already done this game, so we can just like redo it. But like they had to work with a whole different licensing company. And like they were like, well, we wouldn't have approved what you did in that old game either. And so that was the issue.
That's great, right?
Yeah.
That's a good email to read.
They have to change, recall all those games now from
That's a
2014.
great. Holy
I mean,
shit! moment.
I'll tell you, it sucks though. I feel bad for you start getting into the development with a certain IP holder, and when they want the deal to go through, right? So they're going to be like, oh yeah, no, things are cool, and then you get into the weeds, right? And I imagine Stern starts hitting these brick walls, and you're just like, shit, like, well, now what? And I wonder like how many games like had decisions that had to get changed in not a way that the fans or pinball people wanted, and it's like, it's licensor problems.
Right.
But
Jeff,
But like
what-
with like Whoa Nelly, what happened with that?
yeah,
they got
I've been
the big
waiting
melons.
20 years for that game. So excited for it.
They got
Big
approval
juicy
for the
melons.
and the crates. Jeff, did Winchester ever say, "Hey, that house, that's not our house. Get rid of it"?
I mean, I wasn't involved in a lot of the IP discussions. It gets talked about a little bit in meetings and things, but like, the Winchester house was just stoked to have a pinball machine. And for the most part, they saw and knew that what was coming from it was like really cool and interesting. None of these licensor people are pinball people, right? Like, it's not like they're like, hey man, you should really change the art on that left orbit. It's not indicative of a staircase to nowhere or something,
Right.
So-
Jeff, a question for you that's an opportunity for a humble brag for you, which is like in Winchester, the layout, the callouts have like a lot of fun, like energy to them, that they really have acting to them, and in a way that a lot of 90s callouts did, like Lord of the Rings was more recent, but like obviously that has like great callouts, and Indiana Jones.
Medieval Madness and
Medieval
Attack from
Madness
Mars
and,
were the two references.
real passionate callouts. That. Let me ask you this: why do you think other pinball manufacturers have such a hard time with this, even when they get the actors from the shows or movies or whatever, with specifically the energy in the call out?
Easy. They don't have a technical director for it. They don't have they don't have a voiceover director during the thing. I did the directing for the session when it happened. They send a call out sheet to some actor or voiceover actor, and they're just say, send these back, or they'll sit in on a Zoom call and not interrupt him or direct him, and they just read it like it's a script, and it's not. You're trying to make like these movie moments. You talked about these choreographed moments, and it's like you got to go over the top. Like they should be ridiculous, and
Did you, like you said, it's a reference for you as Attack from Mars, Medieval Madness. Is that part of your direction to them? Like, did you give them those sources of callouts?
Oh yeah, I had it pulled up. I mean, we recorded it here. Tyler, the voiceover actor for Winchester Mystery House, came over, and I was just like, look, like he has my Attack from Mars for one, so it made it really easy. I needed space for other games, and I gave him my Attack from Mars, and I was just like, listen to the jackpot call outs, listen to how, the enthusiasm that's in it. The other thing that I think is an issue with modern, I was going to do a video on this, but I'll talk about it now. I think one of the biggest issues with modern pinball call outs is they're too wordy. shut the fuck up. It only needs to be like 3 or 4 words. Like
Right.
the people that are writing these scripts are like, think they're like these virtuosos. So they're going to like, oh, blah, 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 blah. I'm looking forward to going to the Metallica mansion and taking a voyage in the cemetery. It's like, nobody wants to hear that. You want to know what they hear? They want to hear, hit the tombstone. You know, like that's the call out. So, and each one of those needs to be memorable. And it's when you start talking too much, it's not memorable.
Damn, that's good.
That's
Good answer.
really good. That is really fucking good. Thank you, sir. Well, you're right. You know, when you did a great job, ladies and gentlemen. I want to give Dodson a big prop here at TPF. That was so fun. He set up anyone that did it. If it's in chat, let me know if you loved it. But I can't wait for someone to buy a Jamie Burchell pinball machine.
You're cut up. Your voiceover is cut up. Dude,
how long did that take, by the way?
by the way, shout out to my boys. Dude, I got 2 DJR Pinball and Slinger, 2 of my Discord friends, cut all of it for me. I did the mastering and cut out the master sessions and did all the like processing so that they were like finalized. But they went through and did all the little segment cuts out for it. So they absolutely saved me hours and hours of work. So we're almost done. There was like 50 total like groups sheets of it, and each one of those have whatever 50 call outs. So you know it was not a small amount of work.
No way.
Yeah, community, man, dude. The cult
really
of pinball
awesome.
rocks hard, man.
Are you going to bring that to Expo?
Yeah, I think so. So
you have
know,
to. It's a no-brainer.
dude, Marco hooked it up. They bought that entire like sound booth and all of the decor in it and stuff. Like Emoto, like she took care of everything. She was just like, I was like, I got the call out sheet. She was just like, I got the booth. I'll take care of it. I'll set it up. And I was just like, I will dedicate all my time to this to make it as cool as we can. So it's not the first thing we're gonna do. So or the last thing. One of those.
Well, awesome. Do it, because I just found out that we have my new gig has a corporate office in Chicago. So guess who's going to be working remote the week of Expo? This guy. So I'll be there Thursday through Sunday now. I was only going to come up Saturday this year. Serge, are you going to Expo?
I'm not. I don't travel for stuff. I'm sorry. I got too many things going on. I'm not able to. But one day you'll see. In about 10 years.
Got to
you'll
make
see
his
me at
charts.
things.
Got to make my charts.
Who's making these charts? Waking up at 4 a.m. to build barns,
I know
donuts, and make charts.
It's almost
Who's doing
midnight
that?
here, and I'm still going with you clowns. But I said 5 minutes, and I keep saying 10 minutes. This is what happens with Cale when I hang out with him. We our lives go way too long, but I'll keep going. I don't give a shit if you guys want to go for a little.
Well,
while
I got one
longer.
more. Jamie, I'll go until you pass out. I'll just
I'm
be praying.
zenning it. I'm
Yeah,
rocking
there you
the
go.
zen, so I'll be okay for a little bit.
You're pouched up.
I'm pouched.
Jeff, I have another opportunity for humble brag question for you there,
Oh, damn it.
which is that sometimes you were just saying this too, like pinball callouts are like too much, but sometimes pinball callouts are like so informational, like hit the ramp 3 times and then do this or that or whatever, and it's just like so pinball-y, and that can take you out of the theme immersion. One of the things I feel like I register on Winchester is that you have some callouts that are very much like go for the jackpot, like not telling you where it is, and then other callouts that are more specific, and it seems like you alternate them and when they play so that maybe players get a sense of them, but you don't rely on it too much. Like you switch up between theme immersive versus non-theme immersive callouts. Did I say that right?
Yeah. No, for sure. So there's like 2 categories of callouts in the game. Speaking of talking too much. So since he is a tour guide, there are these callouts which are just information about the house. It's totally not pinball related whatsoever. Like he's like, oh, the blah, 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 blah room is like, you know, where Sarah Winchester used to blah, blah, blah. And it's cool because that's like color for the environment. But when it comes to like actual pinball call out, the only ones that matter are the other ones you're talking about. And most of those have multiple alts, right? So they'll be like, shoot the right ramp, or they'll be like, shoot the staircase to nowhere, right? In this case, they're not the same shot, but in the format. And usually the first one is the actual name of the shot. And then later on, it'll just be like, shoot the ramp. So it condenses the amount of information to leave space for the rest of the soundscape because it doesn't need to be cluttered. And, you know, you're working with both a finite amount of mixing space. You're working with a finite amount of time. I mean, your ball time's what, 2 minutes? Well, it's a D'Angelo game, so your ball time's 45 seconds. But, you know, you have to like really coordinate and choreograph how the information is getting to the player in that specific amount of time.
Damn it, that's good.
Hey, Cale, let's ask him some questions, right? We got
God,
Dirty Pool here. Let's ask him some more.
Do you mind that I turned it into like I asked some interview questions? I hope you guys didn't mind.
Yeah,
that.
weren't we supposed to be interviewing you?
No, I don't do that.
You tricked me.
Yeah. So, do you have Dungeon Crawler Carl? Does Barrel
What's
have
that?
it? Don't give me
What's
that.
Dungeon Crawler Carl?
Is
that a movie?
It's the shit that's blowing up all over the place, man.
Never heard of it.
I never heard of it. I got more pinball people coming up to me about Dungeon Crawler Carl than any other IP. They're like, does Barrels have Dungeon Crawler Carl? I get this all the time. I'm like, I don't know anything they have. They don't tell me a thing.
Has anybody here read the book? Or
No, my buddy John Spates is reading the book right now, and he gave me the rundown of it. It sounds awesome.
It's going to be my summer beach reading.
Oh,
So I'm
are you going to
planning on
listen to the audiobook? Supposedly he does the voices.
Summer beach
extremely well.
listening. I've heard because the audiobook is good. I'm driving to California in July, and I'm going to be listening to it on that.
Well, it's supposed to be graphic. I don't want your kids listening to it, buddy.
No,
Oh,
I
is
put it in
it?
the headphones, so I don't hear
Oh,
anything.
all right, okay. All right.
Getting cozy. You're putting your sleeping mask on while you're driving. Get your earbuds in. Like get the whole thing
I
going.
need to be lulled to sleep.
So chat wants to know. Enzo thinks you have Muppets. Enzo, what are you doing? Isn't it early there? Muppets. You guys don't give anything. How do you do that? How do they do it?
Because it's way cooler when people are surprised. It sucks giving like any information out. I'd rather lie my ass off, and then when it comes out, you're like, Jeff, you son of a bitch. Like that's the moment I want.
I do think
Feels
Muppets
good.
would do well. I think Muppets would do reasonably well. It's
I
not,
do too.
because I think it's like a harmless theme. If people don't hate it, I'm not saying there's like Muppet tattoos on people, except for Cale, but I think that I think it would do decent, and I think it's like family friendly.
Do you have a full back like Kermit the Frog tattoo?
And when he does his lifts, it turns into Miss Piggy. It folds.
That's my only tattoo. It's on my back.
Kermit, huh? Rockin' Kermit. All right. It's 1 p.m. for Enzo. That's not bad. There you go, Enzo. Thank you so much for joining. This was just an impromptu stream. If you're joining us just now, where the hell have you been? We've been doing this for 2 hours and 15 minutes, but it was just going to be me and Cale, and we couldn't get Ralph because he was spending time with his wife, and I told him to feed her turkey tonight, get the tryptophan to get going, and he could put her to bed and join us.
That's a myth, Jamie.
I'm sure it is, but I was trying everything I could, Cale.
No, it has tryptophan, but so does steak, and so does pork.
Okay.
And probably duck.
I don't eat duck, but anyway. So it was just going to be us, and then we were trying to figure out a way to do a live call-in show, but Sterling Martin's going to help me with that. Wouldn't that be fun, Serge?
Yeah,
a live call-in show?
Oh, that'd be great. I think that's a fun time, fun idea, as long as it's your phone number.
Well, that's the rub. I'm probably get a Google phone.
Get a Google phone,
number.
right? Yeah, that could work.
That
I
could
think
work.
Jeff and I are like 80% of a Ralph together.
Yeah.
We make a whole Ralph.
You just got to laugh more at my jokes. That would help me out.
I didn't get the paycheck.
No, that's true. Well, I don't get a paycheck either, but Ozzy gave us a nice super chat. And I
Yeah,
really
that was a
appreciate
big
you,
paycheck.
Ozzy. That was. It was very, very nice. We can't see the super chats on here, so if you have done it again, I apologize.
No, I've been monitoring it.
Oh, okay. That wasn't an ask, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not Christopher Cloris.
Earlier, someone asked, what is our favorite unlicensed theme? Everybody, let's start with Jeff. Go ahead.
That's already been done. You mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you mean? Oh, to pick a game that has already been released that's unlicensed?
Yeah.
I'm going to choose barbecue, so don't choose it.
Okay, I won't pick that.
Okay.
I mean, most of my favorite themes are just single word like things, like Viking, sorcerer, grand lizard. Like I like just
took mine.
a thing. Like like fish, cup of milk. Like cup of milk pinball would be like a really awesome pin. I want to see that made.
What'd you choose, Cale? Sorcerer?
I was gonna say sorcerer.
I'll choose a modern one, Serge. This is going to be a hot
All right,
take.
tell me.
Dialed in.
Ooh, good choice.
Okay.
Oh, terrible choice, but
And I'll tell you,
good choice
the
in that
reason
it's a hot
he's
take.
saying it's a terrible choice is because
Totally
of
agree with the hot take.
because of the SIM card shot, right? Is that
No,
your?
oh no, I was just it depends on what we mean by this question. I thought what we meant was like what is a good choice for an unlicensed theme, not like
no.
what's an unlicensed theme that's a great pinball machine.
Oh, okay.
Like because Dialed In is like a terrible choice for a theme. Like because nobody cares about their old phones and nobody like pinball is like in itself an act of getting away from your phone. In itself. So it's like, and then
Right.
plus the mom jeans and everything. Is it a great game? Yes, it's a very good game. Though that I could agree
I think
with.
some of the best unlicensed games are like concepts, right? Like Safecracker, for example, right? Like that's like a thing to do, right? So like you already, not only is your theme have an objective, but it also is its own style to begin with.
I
Good
love
point.
Safecracker.
Who done it?
Yeah.
Right. Another good choice.
I'll give a boring choice, which is Medieval
Cactus
Madness.
Canyon.
Yeah, Cactus
Yeah, there you
Canyon
go.
Western.
Medieval Madness.
It's a boring choice, but I think they do what they need to, which is just one incredible mech that makes you feel the theme and
Yeah.
makes you feel silly while playing it.
Hard to argue with Ozzy here.
Ooh, yeah, TNA.
If you are a fan, a lot of TNAs in the chat. TNA, the problem with TNA, if you're an operator, and I doubt Buckle Tim is still here because he's probably in sleep, but it doesn't make any money. People,
The game?
The game makes no money.
Why do
In
you think that is?
Texas? You talking about in Texas?
I'm just talking about at Eureka Heights. Okay, it didn't make any money. It's too
Weird.
brutal. Eureka's different than
Mm-hmm.
Electric Bat in so many ways, but one of it is just new players. There's so many new players come to a brewery, drinking, and go, "Hey, let me try these pinball machines."
They
So
want
had
some
a
ramps.
They had a spooky row, boys,
Mm-hmm.
from Looney Tunes. They had everyone except Texas Chainsaw and Domino's, but I think they're getting a Domino's. They have
Oh, wow.
Jetsons.
Wow.
Jetsons makes no money.
Well, that game sucks. though.
Oh, I believe that.
No money.
Yeah.
like I think they just put it there for their own amusement is what I'm saying. I'm like, I make fun of them. I'm like, you guys operators or what? I mean, you got the spooky row, which is great. I mean, Evil Dead, Beetlejuice,
Great
and
games.
then
Jetsons.
Halloween. They put the Ultraman code on Halloween for a week,
Whoa.
Oof.
which is kind of funny.
Oh, that's kind of funny. Yeah.
And they put a sign up there that says Ultra Ween. Whatever.
What was the haunted house one they did? That was great.
America's
It was
Most
the
Haunted.
America's most.
America's Most Haunted,
They
but
don't have an
it was
America's
a
Most
purchase
Haunted.
game. It was what's his face that like they acquired the design and then produced it. It wasn't internally designed.
It's the one
Did
they
Carl
don't
take
have.
inspiration with Winchester from America's Most Haunted?
Not that I'm aware of. No.
Scott Denise's coming to the arcade next Monday.
Oh,
Well, that's
really?
very exciting.
Yeah.
Cool.
Scott Denisi is one of the nicest people I've ever met in my entire life.
Yeah.
All right. He's just way up there with Rachel Bess. Okay. Just he asked what was best on license. Tell them better pants for Jamie.
Mm.
Okay.
Pin
I
Freak,
think
the
that
known
is-
commenter on most pinball videos out there.
I think
That's
he's
what I
referencing the live version, Cale, that we did in Arizona where I wore shorts and was very subconscious with my legs.
Oh, and then you put a blanket on yourself,
And I put a blanket on myself.
and you felt better,
Jamie,
right?
you got beautiful legs. Beautiful legs. What are
You
worried
know,
about?
when I'm on the Peloton, I got good legs, but
Jamie,
at that
let's
point,
see,
I was off
let's
the
see
Peloton.
him. Can we see him right now?
Yeah, sure.
Show us your gams.
Let's see him.
All right, hold on.
Can you stand on the chair?
Yeah.
Look at that, man. Are you kidding me?
That's not
Hell
bad.
yeah.
Oh my God. That's
a
beautiful.
Peloton. Hold on, I got a
Oh,
tattoo.
man.
I got a tattoo on the other side.
Is it Kermit?
That's Kermit.
Holding charts?
That is
Oh,
my
no.
dog Turtle that passed away,
Oh.
and I got his paw print put there.
That's adorable.
His name was Turtle. He had one eye, and he was my little buddy. My little
Now
buddy.
that would be a great unlicensed theme.
Turtle.
Turtle, your
Turtle the
one-eyed
dog, my one-eyed dog. You
Yeah.
can't
I mean,
hit half the
Barracuda
playfield.
is like
One of
turtle
one
adjacent,
Ellie.
right?
For Jamie.
Just can't hit half the playfield. America's Most Haunted at Next Level in Oregon feels like a quality homebrew. Yeah. So my point of saying this was they got enamored with Spooky Row, and some of these machines just don't, like TNA and Jetsons. Nobody comes in there and plays Jetsons. It's a terrible game. No offense to Spooky, but it's
Yeah, it's
just
bad.
it's
They know
really
it.
bad.
I'm It's okay,
I'm
they know
sure
it.
they won't take offense to that.
They know it too.
You know, I don't want Frankie yelling at me
Right.
that Spook. Okay.
Yeah.
It's
Beetlejuice is
just-
still cleaning up though, right, Cale?
Oh yeah, it's killing it.
This is loose. Quarters loose.
But I mean, it's the only one in Arizona.
Oh, okay.
That helps, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that doesn't hurt feelings. Do you like Beetlejuice, boys? Do you like to play it?
Why is everyone quiet? I don't know.
Crickets.
No.
Crickets.
There's two shots on it that really bug me, and I don't like how many scoops there are. I think it's a fun game, and the theme integration is really awesome. Like it's a good game, but I'm not like blown away by it. I just think that left orbit dumping into the upper playfield and that left spinner are just too hard. They're just weird. They feel
It's
wonky.
weird, right, Jeff? I have a really tough time when I'm hitting that left orbit to realize I gotta get that off.
Well, I don't know if this is always true, Cale, but last time I played it at the bat, like it wasn't strong enough, the right flipper, to get it up that left orbit into that upper area. And so it just was making to the pops and falling back down.
I haven't played it enough to notice.
Okay. All right. I'll put it on the Discord. I'm just saying.
Yeah, you should.
I should have done it right away. I should have done it right away.
I mean, that should tell you a lot. I don't ever play it. I mean, I'm playing like all kind of other stuff. I don't know. I mean, I think it's beautiful. People absolutely love it, and nothing talking to me.
Well, I'll say
Can't pull you off Barrios. You're stuck on
Right.
that every day, 24
Every
hours
day.
a day playing Barrios.
Yeah, I'll say that it looks beautiful. The art is perfect. The theme immersion is amazing. The code is pretty darn good. It's got a lot of modes. Its code is great even. The mechs are great in the game. I think what maybe people don't respond to as much is the excitement and the layout, probably. Is that fair?
Yeah.
I have a problem as a tournament player that I can't choose my modes, and I'm stuck with Deo, and this other guy gets to dig up.
You know, you
Beetlejuice.
can hit that upper left slingshot to change the modes.
Yeah,
It's not
good
easy
luck.
to do, but good luck,
Good
right?
luck.
Yeah, you
Right,
really
but there
should.
you go. That's one of those. You can bring out your chart, right? It's like
It's in there.
what a strange way to cycle the modes in a way that
I
just
don't
is
agree
like
with that decision.
right.
I don't
Yeah.
think that's the way you should change a mode. I think
Uh,
do it by flipper choice. Do it by give,
Yeah,
You
I
saw
I
my
think they
communism
should-
flag.
I think they should change that. They can still
It's
change
big.
that, though, right?
Big flag.
And
For
so-
Yeah,
sure.
they could change that. They could change it at any time. And I think, as I recall, they had the same thing on Looney Tunes, where like people just wanted to be able to play their favorites clips, and they initially didn't help you, with your choice on the mode, but then they allowed you to in later code. And I think the problem with Beetlejuice, though, Jamie, is there's an insert that says mode change, right there in the slingshot.
Mhm.
So they could. It's not that they couldn't change the code, but the insert's already there. So they're sort of they're pot committed in a certain sense.
It's interesting because, like, Bug will say on his streams, they don't care about points. Like, they
Right.
don't care. That's just not their ballywick. I mean, they're just not what they care, and I care because I'm trying to score points.
For how critical I feel like we're being, I think it's a top 3 spooky game easily. Like
It's a
they're
great game.
Oh yeah,
easily. Yeah.
It's a
but
great
without
game.
a doubt.
Evil
I would take
Dead-
Evil Dead over it though.
I would take Evil
personally.
Dead over it too.
I
and
also
that-
would take Evil Dead over it, though.
What about you, Cale? Evil Dead,
Oh yeah.
right? So
Yep.
Evil Dead comes out, and it's such a banger.
Well, it also has the callouts, which are great by
I
Bruce
know,
Campbell.
I know.
And they both have great code, but actually Evil Dead's code is better. For now.
Yeah,
Maybe people don't feel that as much, but
And
what I
Evil
mean
Dead's
is
been out for
it's been out for a
7,
while.
8 months more. Yeah.
Evil Dead has the most mini wizard modes of almost any game in all pinball history. So much so that they have like a challenge screen where you could pick any one of them, with spooky coins or whatever they call it. And there's just so much to do in the game. It has so much depth, and Beetlejuice is getting there too, I'm sure, and it's probably there already.
Where do
Yeah.
I put Rick and Morty? That's a good question. I like Rick and Morty. I'm one of the few that likes Rick and Morty.
I like
So
Rick and Morty.
I like it a lot. I think you gotta get mega seeds, buddy. If you're not getting mega seeds, Alex Gomez, you're in deep trouble on a tournament. It's all about those mega seeds.
But I'm a weird guy. I'm a weird guy. My favorite spooky game. I'm not going to get agreement here from people. I know is Looney Tunes. That's my favorite spooky game. Deal with it. I know everyone's looking at me like I said something like.
Bro,
abominable.
what?
I know you heard me.
But okay, this is what I don't get.
I'll make an argument for it.
It's
What?
the same. Well, the code's better on
Texas Chainsaw,
Yeah,
for sure.
it's the same layout. So why?
Well, first, I haven't played Texas Chainsaw, so I can't say. I can't speak to
Okay.
it. That's my. I want to say that. Like, I don't know the. I know I've heard that, but I haven't played it, so I don't know. What I like about Looney Tunes, first of all, 2 mode trees and dozens of modes. So you could play all these scenes from the show up the middle, or there's these Marvin the Martian modes on the left orbit. So I like that. I like that they have all these like perk weapons and things you can use. And I like that it has all these ramps. And I guess I like Looney Tunes too. But
The hot take here is that you have not played Texas Chainsaw
haven't
Massacre,
played Texas
because I
Chainsaw.
think that you would be like, Texas
probably would
Chainsaw
like it better.
Massacre is way better if you have played it.
that may well be the case. That may well be the case. I'm willing to give an honest opinion, even though I know that I'm not going to get agreement on it. Is what I mean.
Yeah.
Sorry, everyone. I haven't played TCM. I haven't played
Chat's
it.
hammering you on the TCM.
I didn't look. I haven't played it. Is what I'm saying. I would play
Okay.
it. Cale, get a TCM. How come you didn't get a TCM there?
Because Mark, he went with the Looney Tunes because he didn't think the violent theme would make as much money.
Do you think he's right?
I don't know.
Okay.
I think at a family-friendly place where you're bringing your kiddos, maybe.
And
But
this
at the-
ain't it.
And at the back,
Electric bat's
I
not
mean,
family
it's
friendly,
not. You know. Yeah, that's interesting. All right,
Kids
I was
love
just-
tiki drinks.
All right. I will play TCM. I'm sorry, everyone in chat. I will. I like
We'll
the
go
layout.
to Pin
first of all,
Map
we can
for
agree
you
with that.
and see where there's one near you.
Yeah. If there's one in
Yeah.
Arizona, let me come over and play your TCM.
Yeah.
Let me understand this code. Let me play it. I will come
There's
back.
got to
I
be
will say I
somebody
like
in
it
chat
better.
that has one. Do you want to go to a stranger's house and play TCM?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
that'll
the
be good.
move.
He won't even come on our podcast, but he'll go to a stranger's house.
Well, I trust strangers more.
That's fair. I
When
mean,
I
do you
first-
blame him?
When I first got into the hobby, I went over, I went to Pinside and I was like, I wanted to play all these games to learn, hey, what game should I get or whatever. And so this guy, I won't give his last name, but Greg, local player in Arizona, like famed collector in Arizona, let me come over his house to play his games. And I just showed up to his house, randomly play his games. He had the nicest collection, beautiful games. And he told me something that changed the trajectory of my pinball hobby career, within pinball, which is like, I was like, wow, look at all these, like I never saw these pinball games before. And I just wasn't, this is like, I don't know, years ago. And he said, and I was like, oh, these designers, they must be like really so smart to make all this. And he's like, no, it's not the designers that are smart, it's the coders that are smart. That's what
Yeah.
you're going to be impressed by when you get into the hobby. And he
Well,
was
you had-
absolutely right for me.
You had mentioned like games that have soul, and you kept listing the ones that had like the best code in the world. Do you think that the code is like what gives a game its soul?
100%. I think that said, it's a team effort. Pinball really is collaborative. I think you need the sound and you need the lighting and you need the design and you need the mechs and you need the theme and the theme immersion and the code. But I would rather play a bad layout with a great code than a great layout with bad code.
But you can change code, you can't change a layout.
Although you can change code, you rarely do. And when it happens, the game can get much better. There are not that many games, if you really go back and say, hey, they radically redesigned the code. You could say Walking Dead is an
I
example.
could say
where
007.
they did that. 007.
Yeah, I was going to say
However,
007.
MXV would yell at me for saying that because he would say, actually, we always had the plan to make that the code. That was not a rehaul. It just took a long time to get license approval. Isn't that fair, Cale?
That's correct.
That actually wasn't a 2.0 code. That was the code that's in that game, which is great code, was
Great.
planned from jump.
The
Oh,
only
okay.
ones, the only ones he came in and like kind of took it in a different direction because maybe one wasn't going in any direction. X-Men and Wick.
Yeah, so I guess it comes to let's put it this way, actually, and I will, although maybe this is controversial prior to speaking to Ray Day tomorrow. All right. You might agree, perhaps, that X-Men X-Men compared to Star Wars: Fall of the Empire, which has the better layout. Let's start with that.
X-Men.
X-Men. You know, these
For
things
sure.
are subjective, but for sure, and yet they're not. X-Men has the
No,
better
they're
layout.
not.
Which has the better code?
Fall of the Empire.
Fall of the
Easily.
Empire.
Fall of the Empire, it's no question.
It's not even a question.
And so then my next question to you guys is, and you might feel differently about this, which one would you prefer to play long term?
X-Men. Oh, probably Fall of the Empire because I want to try to get to the Speed Racer code and some of this shit. But I
In your
can't get there. I'm
hypothetical,
not good at enough.
Is that unfair?
yeah, are they
Is this
going to release another X-Men update in this hypothetical, crazy, wacky, surgy world that we're living in?
They're done with. They've already.
Oh.
They have. This is their. They've done it already with X-Men. They did try to rehaul it or whatever, and they did a fairly decent job at it. I'm just it's still the case that Star Wars is the better code. I think that's objective, frankly. But so the question is, now you can have both games for a year, you know, in your house. Which game would you rather? Forget about the theme and what you're more passionate about or whatever. Same question for chat.
Probably Star Wars.
Yeah, it's obviously Star Wars. Well,
And
because
good
you
for me
get
too.
there's only a limited amount of that like serotonin release you get from hitting a quality shot, right? It's a linear situation. Like you hit the shot, you get the ooh, right? But if you get good code and you start stacking all that stuff, you can have like multiple oohs, and that's way better.
Yeah, and frankly, neither game, as I recall, is at 1.0 code now, Uncanny X-Men or Star Wars: Fall of the Empire. But there's just all the Star Wars, and maybe people don't have, or and hopefully tomorrow, if they watch the show, they'll appreciate what I'm talking about, the depth of code that it has, and how good that code is. And I think if I'm going to have a game for a year, I personally would pick. If I had to pick those two,
Yeah.
I'm just saying in this constrained choice of those two, and not the thousands of games that are out there, I would say I'd pick Star Wars: Fall of the Empire over Uncanny X-Men in a home environment. But chat disagrees here. There's a lot of people for Uncanny X-Men.
All right. Well, I challenge you with a different question. Out of those two games, right? If you had them for 17 minutes, which one would you pick?
Uncanny X-Men, no question. Without question. It's got the better mechs. It's got the better layout. It's more interesting layout. And it's not like I'm not even saying it's terrible code. It's just one is better, and you know the layout of Uncanny X-Men is much better than Star Wars. That's true. But especially for people who are like practiced in pinball and have played a bunch of games. I also just wish it's not that I. By the way, it's not that I don't like fan layouts either. I just don't particularly like that fan layout. Is what I would say.
Yeah.
Like John Wick is a fan layout that I think plays pretty cool for a fan layout.
It's too hard.
Yeah, I know you feel that way.
It's too hard. It's just too
There's
damn
also
hard.
enough things that trick you into thinking it's not really a fan layout, right? Like just how the ramps and stuff are located, the car and the weapons crate. Like you don't feel like you're playing a fan layout. Like Jaws, like is obviously a fan layout, but the side flipper and the utility pop give you enough of a like, not really.
I don't know. People say that's a fan layout because I get that their shots arranged in a fan. But first of all, there's an upper playfield on the premium LE. That's its own thing, you know.
Which is a requirement. You cannot own the Pro. It's just
Yeah.
no point.
I personally agree with that, unless you're an operator. Sorry, Cale. But
Right.
also, and then you have that upper right flipper that does open things up side to side and does make this cool shot. And you could sometimes make the orbit, and the orbit flies in a weird way. And so I think it's maybe a twist on some sort of fan layout, but it's enough different that I wouldn't even put it in that category. I think it's just weird enough, on its own. Yeah, like and then I'd rather a game, frankly, like Jaws that has a great layout and great code.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree with you. Not a hot take.
That's not a hot take. The hot take was comparing Star Wars and Uncanny X-Men, I think. Right. And I didn't
All right,
play
I'm-
Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I'm sorry, I haven't played it yet. I
All right,
will.
I think I'm fading, boys. It's midnight. It's 12:07. Right?
Yeah.
That's enough.
We pushed
Yeah,
Amy to the
for
brink.
sure.
We're good, man.
Thank you
We're
for
good.
having me on. I love my little like surprise.
Like
I
20
loved
hours.
it. I'm so glad Cale sent that to you. Thank you, Cale.
Thank you, dude.
Always a good producer.
So everybody needs to hang out in here, right? So it'll upload.
Yeah, wait till it to upload.
Okay.
So when I shut this off. But guys, thank you so much for joining. We had consistently close to 100 people for most of the night, which is totally ridiculous. Just listening to us talk gibberish about how much we love this pinball hobby of ours. We are a pimple on a pimple, and who cares? We love it. And I thank Serge so much for joining and being this interview here. For me to be the first to interview you is so exciting, and I really appreciate it. And Jeff from Dirty Pool Dodson, you know what? I'm going to do this. I think it's a joint interview, and I think we did it very well together, buddy.
Can we
What a
also give credit
partnership.
to Enzo, by the way, in chat? He asked also around the same time that you guys asked, and I said I can't. I don't do things like interviews or whatever. And Enzo's in the chat too, and I'm sorry, Enzo, is what I mean.
It's okay. Enzo's the best. He's a great dude. And 3 more hours, says Sterling. Are you crazy? I got to go to bed. A pimple on a pimple. Yeah, Tom, we are. I mean, we're just crazy in love with this hobby. And I just wanted to do a stream where you guys can hang out with us live. Because we were jonesing. My wife's out of town. She's in Sedona, living it up.
Oh, nice.
And if I had planned this properly, I should be in Arizona at the bat, but I didn't plan it properly. So that's on me. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Ozzy, for everything. We really appreciate you all. And I'm going to close this, but these guys are going to stay here for 5 minutes, not even 2 minutes, while it uploads. God bless you all. Thank you, guys.